Hey, how's it fucking going, huh? How's it fucking going, huh? How's it feel to have even the slightest bit of news? And I say slight, we got a whole trailer. We got a whole fucking trailer. So me saying garbage scraps, like, it's not actually garbage scraps, but you know, like we got like one like small plate of food and we're licking the plate, you know. We're fucking hungry. Yeah, they did definitely increase. Here, I'm gonna pop over here. Hello. Oh my god, why is the light like this? The sun, it's really like clouds moving around a lot today, so it's like really fucking bright one minute and then kind of dark the next. So, this is what we're dealing with. So it'll probably brighten up here soon enough and then be way too bright. So they sure did introduce like a ton of new characters via voice lines too. They did. I saw people talking about one of them being like, I think somebody said it was like Demix's voice, but I'm not as familiar with like the Japanese voices, so I couldn't tell you off the top of my, like, I wouldn't be able to just pick it up just by hearing it. I don't have enough exposure, so I don't fucking know. Scream singing into the unknown outside. I didn't, because my headphones are too good at blocking out sound. So I need to like, is this brighter? So that's a little better. Hold on. If it's Demix, I want to bet with my friend. Well, don't, you know, don't fucking quote me on that. I just remember seeing people talk about it. Which would be interesting. That's for sure. See, and now the sun has I opened it a little bit and then the sun has just come blasting back. So either I'm totally blown out or I'm sitting in the fucking dark. There's no winning. That's what today's going to be. Ignore all this shit back here. Anyway, hi. Hey everybody. When it gets really bright, the camera also isn't really sure where to focus. It's like constantly like West Coast weather, it's true. Let's see, get that out of here so I'm not fucking seeing it all the time. And then okay. So hi. Let's see. What day was it when it came out? It was like I wrote it down. Because I have to write everything down or I don't know anything that's happened. Oh, okay. It was like on Sunday. It was like the 30th in Japan. So it's been a few days. We've gotten to sit with the trailer for a few days. Talk about the new girl in the trailer with the white hair who looks like Ephemer. Yeah, we can. And we will. I will have to look at the trailer a bit. She is super cute. Her design is super cute. I think the redheaded guy is super cute. For people who were bad and looking at the leaks from the beta test in January, the redheaded guy is not new, but still very cute. So the girl's definitely new. I saw some shots of the town I had recognized from some of the beta footage as well. I had seen somebody walk around down on like another path you could see in the background. So I don't want the whole thing spoiled for me, but I just happened to be like, oh, hey, I recognize that little spot from that one clip I saw. But I do really like, this is something that was like I think it's one of the first things that everybody notices is the like opening shot and seeing the player character with like the most luscious eyelashes. Um Fantastic stuff. Oh, thank you for the subscription. um I'm loving how this game is looking kind of sad. It won't be for PC. Well, who knows? That might change somewhere along the way. I think the difficulty comes with the fact that it is like it's like a GPS based game, right? So they kind of want you to just go and out and do whatever, but they do have an option for you to play it without having to go walk around, which I think is great as an accessibility thing. But I know it comes from Nomura having said out loud with his mouth that he did not want to go walking around. He doesn't like to. So he wanted there to be an option to not have to do that. And hey, you know, I guess regardless of the reason why, it's a good thing that it's being included. Because that was initially a problem with obviously the comparison here with like Pokemon Go. Um, and now that it had kind of paved the way for this type of game, we can kind of learn from that. And so like that was an issue with Pokemon Go, was that like people have disabilities and can't leave their house for one reason or another, or if they can, a lot of people live in the middle of fucking nowhere, and so there's like nothing for them, kind of a thing. So to have options to like access things from afar, I think is just smart. It just lets more people play your game. So yeah, a GPS game in which you can explore the world from home. So I think it would be cool and also entirely possible that they would port it to the PC, given that they are with some other games, and also that it was like the total death knell for like First Soldier, and it only lasted for like a fucking year because it's like a battle royale shooter but on your phone, and people did not want to play it on their phone. They want to play it on the computer and they didn't get to, and there just wasn't enough retention for the game, and so here we are, and then it died. So here's hoping that something I doubt that it's going to be an issue where there aren't enough people playing a game like this for it to go down, but I think you will have even more people playing if they have other ways to play it. And the fact that they do have listed, like labeled controller support, great sign. Not Steam, not Stream. Yeah, no, I think it was smart that they were like, "Hey, let's put this also over here," especially given how badly things have been going for Square after that Bumble. Bumble is a light way of putting it, to be like, oh yeah, hey, what if we just super invested in NFTs? I know it's like super like past that, but like we're gonna go whole fucking hog into NFTs, and everyone in the company has to be like, yeah, boss, sure, that's great. Yeah, just sell off a bunch of our properties or whatever for some stupid minting company, and then it's surprise, not gonna work out. So they got some shit, unfortunately, fiscally, that they probably have to try and make up for. I know there were reports on 16 not performing as well as they wanted it to because it has to work out of a hole. Um, because it has to work itself out of like a financial fucking hole that they made for themselves. It's not the game's fault. The game definitely performed well, but like it's in comparison to like a company-wide fiscal expectation, you know what I mean? It's dumb as hell. Anyway, I'm really hoping that doesn't really get in the way of things. Obviously the game is still happening, but I feel like this versus like the performance of Cucks, which people, let's face it, people have bad taste, and they think if anything looks even remotely cute, it can't have depth or a good story or anything like that. So, you know, a lot of people didn't play Cucks because they were pissed that it was a mobile game to start. It was on a phone in the first place. That's enough, I guess, for some people. The offense of it all. And then other people being like, I think it looks stupid. I don't like that it's cute. And I'm like, you were playing a game with Winnie the Pooh in it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry that this is the line for you, but uh to each their own, I suppose. It really strikes me like the exact same as like people being upset about the Mickey Mouse Metal Gear Solid hallway sequence, which I'm never not gonna call it that because it's like exactly that. Um, and just being like, this is too stupid. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you have long since passed that point to be calling any of this stupid. Okay? Like you are way too far into such oh now it's a little I don't like this. Like you played the whole fucking DLC up to this point. And like none of that rung weird to you. It's Mickey Mouse and like the big fucking finale part that's like too stupid. Oh, the cuck sprites were too like unexpressive. They're too cute and you can't tell a good story. Like I don't know. I don't know. I think people are complaining. It's free content. It's free. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just take the story from it. Like are you going to complain about like old sprite based games that it's just like they can't give expressions in here? What about like are you gonna complain about Chrono Trigger? Like what is your problem here? Okay, it's fine. It's just the style they chose. It's very like a little storybook. It's very cute and it was free. It was free content. I'm not gonna say that the gameplay was like the most crazy elaborate stuff. Like it's better than some, but like it's still I feel like maybe what worked against it the most is that a lot of, unfortunately, gacha games, but just also like mobile games in general had kind of evolved past where it was. And so it was a bit limiting, I guess, for the experience of just like it's a gacha game, you run in there, you auto, and it just like and it just does all the shit, then you go, ta-da! But it still had a bit more going on. Yeah, the gameplay was not its strongest suit, and it kind of wasn't there to be that, but like that's not to say you can't criticize it. Like there was a little bit of depth in there if you wanted to kind of look at it, but that was like getting into like meta stuff, which was always changing and revolving and just always introducing new mechanics and shit, and some of them were like interesting and cool. Most of it was just power creep, so it was kind of not all that engaging. But like most of the time when I see people complain about this kind of a thing, it's just that like it looks stupid and for babies. I do not like that. And then also just again being mad that it's on the phone at all for free, I guess. So I don't know. Anyway. I've seen people be not super stoked about Missing Link being another mobile game when people kind of want to move forward. I saw somebody whose general like opinion I appreciate and like trust on a lot of, even if I don't always agree. I'm like I totally see what you're talking about. That's a good point, you know, etc. etc. And even this, like I wouldn't say that I was just like super like upset with it or anything. I was just kind of like there are gonna be people in this camp and they're always gonna be there. But just in the camp of like, I sure hope now that everybody is saved that we get to see this whole cast of characters again. And while I wouldn't be against seeing these characters involved in some way, you know, I wouldn't be against seeing Roxas or Aqua or obviously Naminé, even though that's an open plot point that was stated, so we're supposed to see her later, that's to be expected. But, like, you know, I get wanting to see it, but I think there's a difference between, like, I want to see this because that would be cool, but, like, you know, we'll just see where it goes, versus, like, I think it is bad because it is not doing this thing. And I don't think that he was saying that in that, but it was just like, oh, Missing Link, I'm not super excited about it particularly. Like I kind of just like I do miss having like side games where we can explore other characters and other stuff like that, but like I do want to keep moving forward. I do want to just do some of this stuff. And like I wasn't a big fan of Dark Road or Cucks, and I'm just like okay, that's fine, but I'm very much in a camp of like I don't care what comes out. Um I just want it at this point. And not uncritically, I'm just like let him cook. Let's see. What do we get? You know, I would like to see whatever he's got fucking in the back. Like I'm happy. I'm happy with it. So, Dark Road would make a great novel. Actually, I agree, and I think a novel would give Dark Road the room, like the wiggle room, to explore stuff that I don't feel it got to. In see now it's getting bright again. That it did not get to explore, uh, in its run, I guess. You also get to see, you know, a novel would let us see more like insight into their thoughts, background stuff we never got to see, etc., etc. Also seeing as Tomoko got to actually write for Dark Road, I think it would be a great little transition into just writing a novel about it. So that would be cool. I would like that a lot. It's also probably easier for them to make a mobile game than a full-scale game, even though Missing Link does still look like a pretty full-scale game. Yeah, it looks like in the middle in a way that it's like we've gotten to a point where most things are going to like look this kind of same level of polished. Like, yeah, there's some stuff that's like a little limiting here and there. It is still a mobile game, but like it's something that's like, oh yeah, this was like a console game like last generation. You know, like this is what we're at. Like this it's gonna look good, but like also because of that, unless you like specifically go a specific stylized route like Cucks or Dark Road or something like that, the graphical fidelity requires a lot more work. Which isn't to say a lot of work doesn't go into like all of the 2D fucking assets they had to make all the time, but there's just a lot more steps into like modeling everything and then like making sure everything works and, you know, just stuff like that. So it's like there's just a lot of work goes into this kind of thing. Um Also, I'm going to say with I don't know if you guys saw today there was kind of a collection of like there are ads going around for Missing Link for signing up for the beta, and they had some of like the statues and stuff that you can get in the game like there in the ads, right? And it's like, oh, here they are, like a nice little, and they have a little base, but like I've been trained for so long and I looked at it and I was like, are they making amiibos? And then I was like, oh right, no, it's the thing in the game. Never mind. Don't worry. We're really returning to like our Smash Brothers trophy roots, I guess. So I'm excited because they look cute and you can kind of do stuff with it. You know, you can really kind of give it a little pizzazz, a little flair, a little background elements to it. They could do it is the fucked up thing. Well, it wouldn't take that if they did. Well, yeah. I'd be fine not having the Disney specific ones outside of maybe a few, you know, but like yeah, I would just buy them. We could have those Sora and Riku figurines because always, without fail, by the way, in like everything they ever show, it's always like Kingdom Hearts something or other. We have Disney characters and Sora and Riku, and like that's it. Like it's always those are like the little like press release kit. It's Sora, Riku, and Disney General. Mickey Mouse is usually like right there. They did this with Dark Road too, where it was like, yeah, card battle system. Here's some Heartless and like a potion card, and then Sora and Riku from the KH1 intro. Yay! And then they never made a Kairi one from like that or anything. They just made like a standard card of her. It was still cute, but it was just like there are like there's a very clear difference in priorities here. What are you gonna do? Sora, Riku, and nobody else. For a moment, I'm going to just gonna put on some background noise. Do not play at full volume, please. For a second, I was like, why is it so quiet? My headphones are off. Anyway, I realized I was just like, I'm talking for a while. I should put some kind of background noise to just me speaking. It's crazy. It's almost like Sora and Riku are the center of the series. Something like that. I don't know. My stream deck is not working. Hey, wake the fuck up. Okay, I think it's working now. Anyway, whatever, I'm excited about Missing Link. I saw a pal of mine talking about, in one of the ads, it showed, like, because we have, like, and I'm using this boy pro tag, and then we have, like, girl pro tag, and I do this because, as we know from the beta test in January, there was actually no, like, gender specification. You just chose body types, which, great sign, love that. But also it was like, oh, we got to see, like, you know, girl pro tag, and it's just like, oh, the exact same outfit kind of a thing. And it's like, oh, that's nice, you know, that they didn't have to, like, you know, change it up. And it's like, I wish I remembered where I read this. It was in some interview about, like Nomura had been, or somebody had reported on it, at least, that, like, Nomura had been, like, pushing for more, like, gender neutral, like, outfits and things in like, cucks. And, I think that also became much more evident in, like, the later parts of cucks. We got a lot of, like, outfits that were just exactly the same, both sides. Anyway, it seems like they're finally getting to, like, execute on that, so I don't think it's, like, just for, like, oh, just for beginning showsies kind of a thing. It's just like, you know what's easier? Making one very general protagonist and then not having to make total separate assets for what fucking clothes they're wearing. Wouldn't that be cool if you could just use the same shit both ways? So if anything, in the same sense of, like, cucks, where it's kind of nondescript, non-committal, like, player is just kind of player, right? And if things are as we kind of suspect we are player, like, again, maybe. There's always an open end. I'm just saying, there's always some fucking open possibility that we're not, though the trailer having us, like, see the Heart Station, and it's, like, Ephemer and Scold and Chirithy and stuff, and then we're like, okay, well, that would make sense, because, like, what's player gonna have as, like, as a Heart Station, right? Like, when it's, like, there is no, like, definitive, like, player, that it would be more like this cuck's Heart Station, I guess. So I think it's reasonable to expect maybe that this would probably be player, but I also wouldn't write off the idea that we are, and then finding out some other character in the game is, you know. Nomura loves the little bait and switch, so we'll see. We'll see about that. But at least current player that we would be playing, pretty easy to go with, like, yeah, whatever, non-binary, no, like, committing really either way. Who knows if maybe, like, because there's voice acting too, and I feel like it might be easier to just refer to them neutrally. Especially in Japanese, you can do that really easily. You can never mention somebody's gender in any fucking way, and it's not weird. So, we'll see about that one, but at least some of the subtitles seem to kind of, like, hint at, if it's in reference to your player character, they do say them. So I would love that. And it would be even funnier just to be, like, canonically, like, non-binary pro tag, you know? you can look and present however you want, but the character is non-binary, and I'd be like, yes. So, looking forward to that. Very excited about Missing Link and whatever it has in store. And I'm very excited about like the end shot showing very obviously a glossy, beautiful, like rendered like opening movie or some shit. One major gripe with Cucks was how they insisted on gendered pronouns, and I'm just like, this wasn't necessary, and it's just more work. Yeah, well, that's part where it's like, it's just older. This is so funny sometimes to think about. I remember a time when getting to play as a girl was like new and crazy. Like, oh, you get to choose? Really? Oh my god. Like, I remember when that was new in Pokemon. I remember when Crystal was like, whoa, no fucking way. And then it became like standard after that, right? But like, there's just a lot of like, oh yeah, it's funny how things can change, where it's just like, it would, and still is in some cases, like, be so difficult just to have like a girl as a main character in the first place. And then to get to a point where it's just like, well, yeah, this is standard, right? This is standard, this is expected, like, you should be able to just choose whatever in any kind of, like, character creator scenario. And then for it to be like, man, I'm so tired of being stuck in one or the other. Can I just be neither? Which is to say that, like, both options are, like, good. As in, like, having, like, specific gendered options. And then also having the option to not. Good stuff. So, it just sucks to be, like, I think in any scenario, it sucks to be, like, pigeonholed one way or the other. Though I think that there's a slightly different context if people were to complain about having to play as a non-binary character. There is a different history behind that. That's like, okay, you can fucking deal with it. Okay, you can just deal. You have every other option in the planet. Okay, this one time I can think of like a couple others, you know, where it's just like canon non-binary character and it's like Undertale and Deltarune, you know. But anyway, I really hope that they just generally just never fucking, like, it never goes one way or the other. You are just unaddressed, non-binary, whoever you want. What is this? Anyone also notices the theme of characters who end up in different worlds and their association with stars, because in the trailer keep mentioning distorted stars. I mean, yeah, that's a very running theme even through the whole series. They've used that as like a visual representation of like entering a world like several times. There's obviously a lot of use of like shooting stars in general, but like we've seen it quite a bit. Like the use of like shooting stars representing the like walls around worlds coming down, and also in a sense like symbolizing this like almost like a new beginning, you know, like now like people can kind of like enter, people can leave, and oftentimes this has brought about like new people showing up in some way, shape, or form, like Kyrie showing up on the night of the meteor shower, etc., etc. But even like the end of KH2, how they get back is like they are like two shooting stars in the sky. There's a lot of this. Even in Dark Road, fucking Xehanort talks about how, like, you know, he just kind of showed up and he was just like, like, you know, maybe I just fell out of the sky, and they kind of laugh it off, but you're sitting there like, well, this series worth of having seen this before, and you're like, he definitely fell out of the sky. So, what is this? Oh. I was at default to male characters when I had to pick. Glad to see that changing in the gaming sphere. See, I remember when I was forced to play a boy in any game, I would always name myself Nick. Because I was like, oh, I guess it's just like boy me or whatever, and so I would just be Nick. And then I got to choose, and I was like, whoa. A little warmer than I expected. Whoa, choices. No fucking way. Anyway, let's see here. We love to see it. Oh, I don't want to get my... I'll just make my box smaller. It's fine. Oh. He also mentions something about the astral sphere, which connects reality and something like the astral plane. We're gonna watch the fucking trailer, okay? We're gonna watch it together. Hold on a second. Okay. If I go over here, what do we have? Flip Studio. No. Desktop. No. Come on. Come on. Just hearing the kids outside. Show me. Or don't, I guess. For some reason, my desktop. Oh, now you'll find it? Thank you. Oh my god, thanks. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna make my camera small because I don't want to get out my fucking... I don't want to pull it over. Ooh. Uh-oh. Ah! There. Whatever. Good enough. So I'm not super in the way. We're good. What is this? It keeps showing me this. Like, it keeps showing me, like, this fucking preview over here. Leave me alone. Why? Anyway. Look at those lashes. Oh, I'm covering shit up.
漆黒の空に美しく歪んだ星の降る夜だった。
流星が確認された海岸線を調査していたら、
まさか漂着者？
手に負えなければ本家預かりということでいいんじゃないですか。
君の心を試すのにちょうどいい任務もあるし。
アストラル界へ赴き、ハートレスの討伐を行います。アストラル界は無と有とがつながる世界。
Gay people. Gay people.
俺たちが来る必要はない。
真夏星のどっちだ。
錆びたキーブレードか。見せてもらってもいいかい？
異世界の記憶のかけらはとても貴重で、結社間で奪い合いになることもあるんですよ。
ここは光と闇、夢と歪みを持った多層都市スカラアドカエル。
The fucking door!
物語が始まる。それがやがて失われる。空白の歴史だとして。
Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my god. Okay, there is some sound that keeps playing right at the end of that. Why do I look so red? There's some sound that keeps playing that sounds like somebody fucking with some blinds, and every time I hear it, I think baby cat's fucking with the blinds or something. Like, I keep hearing this little noise, and like without fail, I'm like, ugh. And it happened again. I may not have reacted, but I still thought it. I was like, oh, right. That fucking noise right here at the end.
の歴史だとしては
There it was. It's like right at the end of like the coming 2024. I don't know what it is. Yeah, did you hear it? What is that? Why is it there? One more time for posterity. And it like sounds so like behind me or something. Like it sounds so far away. That little fucking rustle. Yeah, someone just fucking with the mic on accident. I don't know what it fucking is. It's driving me nuts. I keep thinking it's stop! There was something I want. Okay. The down here where you guys are kind of covering it up, like this little pathway right here. How do I this way. Yep. I like saw a clip of somebody running around down there a little bit. That path. You know what? Haller's comment on how the society is trying to keep precious fragments from each other could be meta commentary on corporate copyright. That's a really good point, I think. Having the lanterns lit at night and just sort of strolling with my little character down one of the streets. I can't wait. I hope we get to sit in one of these chairs. Like, let me sit. Sit ability, please. I know that Steam was pointing it out, but like the jacket's having what it almost looks like a Dream Eater symbol. It's like so close, but not quite. Because it's like the major difference here is literally just like the little flip up on the bottom part, where it should be like going down. It like droops. Let me order food and eat it here. Let me play with my friends and we can go sit at a table together. That's what I want. On the edge of reality or between reality and unreality, something. I don't know. Because it seems like... Okay, hold on. So... They have to go... Let's see, the Society's Keyblade wielders travel to the astral plane to defeat Heartless. And here's the thing, as far as it seems, the quote-unquote astral plane is the real world, right? Which is not... fuck, what was I gonna say? Astral plane being like... almost like the afterlife and so on, but like, it's just like, oh, you go here to fight Heartless, and it's... like the real world, which obviously connects the reality and our real world anyway, but like reality and unreality. I'm losing it. I'm losing my train of thought. My first thought was that it's the day-to-day breakdown people. They turn into Dream Eaters with their Chirithy. I mean, as far as we would know or understand, like, they're still stuck. They're still stuck there. I would think. Everything is like asleep still. Is that map? Yes, this is like an actual GPS map. That's the thing. So it's like whatever this like other like side is like, oh, it is the real world, which is like obviously reflective of Sora having been taken to what's basically Tokyo. See, it's like actual map shit. Somebody had like pointed out that they were like, oh, this first shot with the map. Play. No? Oh my god. Why won't you pause? Why won't this fucking work? Fine. Can't wait to run across a US highway. Somebody pointed out that this specifically, like this part of the map, is like the Square Enix like offices, and had like showed the map like next to it, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is the building, and this is like this walking area outside. Yeah, I have the frame scrubbing. It's that like pressing fucking space to just have the video play and pause was not fucking working. Anyway. Oh my god, look at him. Sorry, look at his fucking face. We be looking. No. Oh my god, it's him. Get me out of here. Yeah, it's literally just kids standing outside yelling help and then laughing. So I love this, like, everything surrounding it. Like, I love the UI in this game. Oh, there was also a discussion about this area not being Corona because there are palm trees, but then also where could it be? And there was the suggestion that it's like, oh, maybe it's like actually Hawaii, which is funny, but like, you know, maybe they'll want to explore Lilo and Stitch a bit more. But then there was also a suggestion of like, what if it's just elsewhere on Destiny Islands? That's also totally an option. But that it's likely not the Caribbean. Yeah, Moana, Lilo and Stitch, Destiny Islands. Moana is one. It's possible. That would be fun to see. Whee. Woody fucking taking care of business. I love this, it's so cute. Moana feels most likely, but oh, Destiny Islands. Will they actually use new properties in this game? I mean, it's not off the table. Not that, like, Cucks is directly comparable, because it was just, it had different stuff going on. But, like, there's nothing that says you can't have new properties in this game, and they did bring in new properties in Cucks. So, I wonder if we're going to visit some older properties that weren't visited in KH1. I don't know. Yeah, because Cucks had Wreck-It Ralph. Brought that in there, which was very exciting. I'm not sure. Have to be pre or post Moana, since I think a lot of greenery was dead. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to. I don't know. It depends. It depends on what time they like place it, right? But like I feel like less like it would be Moana, but for no particular reason. I couldn't give you like a rationalizing of that at all. I would love, if I had to pick one, I would love for it to be Destiny Islands, because I would love to know more about it, but I would not be upset with any of them. Either way, I just wouldn't be upset. Look at them. Somebody pointed out somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. There was there's like a shot, or maybe there was a screenshot or something somewhere. That was like, there was like a Moogle and an Organization 13 hoodie. Leather, sweaty piece of shit. Trying to find like somewhere to scrub a little bit. Oh, is that her back there? Back. Here. Right here. Standing guy emoji just there. There. Right there. Yep. I mean, for being a GPS game, I wonder how much of it's going to be like, are the day and night cycles going to like reflect like the real world? I wonder. The banners on the merchant kiosks. No, I haven't even looked at them. This fucking door being the exact same one from KH1. Oh. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, let's see here. And pink. Let's look at the kiosks, huh? There's like a buggy on that fucking... I'm covering it up. Out of the way, me. I'm the shopkeep now. And there's like shit on the desks, the tables. The KH1 door drives me wild because I have no idea what it could possibly mean. Too many possibilities. It's true. That's always the case. What am I selling? Let me look. Bread, I think, is what I got in here today. If we play multiplayer, can you be the gay wizard shopkeeper? Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be the gay wizard shopkeeper. I don't know how much you guys have seen. There have been, and this was back even with like the initial beta, but like, but they have like, there are different keyblades, and I'm like under the assumption at least that they're for like some of the different societies. Because there's one that's like that kind of red, like big gear one, and then there's one with like a light bulb that's like green. And you can bet your ass I'm going for that green one with the light bulb. I want a weird light bulb key. I think it was also implied something that it was like good with magic or something. I don't remember. Or maybe somebody said that. Don't quote me on that, okay? I'm not gonna get in trouble for spewing shit off the top of my head here that I don't remember where it's from, so you know how it is. Societies sound like unions. History keeps repeating itself. It's true. People keep dividing things amongst themselves, and I think that Kingdom Hearts is a series about connections with other people and unity, in that conflict will always exist, but also you can choose to not fight everyone around you. So I wonder if it'll just be two factions. I mean, it looks to be kind of leaning that way, but like I just wouldn't be surprised if there's more than one. But if there's just basically like ephemer and then the non-ephemer, then it's like, well, I guess it's pretty clear cut, but we'll see. I wonder if it will like keep you from doing stuff depending on like what side you're on, but like I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna be on the green team. I'm gonna be one of the green guys. I'm gonna be the green goblin. They do be having cars and stuff, though. What is all this shit? There's like a building, and then all of... What are they accomplishing with this? The Green Gobbler. I think the two factions should kiss. I think you're right. I think so too. I'm just looking at like the environment. The rusty keyblade. The rusty keyblade. Landing right on the fucking transition cards. It's gonna be so fucking silly. I have to go on a walk to go get Rue. I also like this shot a lot. She's cute. Nomura knows how to design cuties, that's for sure.
No 流星が確認された海岸線を調査していたら
まさか漂着者
手に負えなければ本家預かりということでいいんじゃないですか
So interested though.
君の心を試すのに
Please.
ちょうどいい任務もあるし
アストラル界へ赴きハートレスの討伐を行います。アストラル界は無と有とがつながる世界。
漂着者はまず本家で保護する決まりでしょ。
単なる歪みなら俺たちが来る必要はない。
マガツ星のどっ
Fucking
ちだ
just destroyed.
キーブレードか見せてもらってもいいかい
異世界の記憶のかけらはとても貴重で結社間で奪い合いになることもあるんですよ。
I'm just sitting right in the fucking middle.
ここは光と
I'm going over here.
夢と歪みを持った多
Oh,
層都
voice
市
sounds kind of
スカラ
fruity.
ア
I
ド
know.
カエル幕が上がり物語が始まる。それがやがて失われる空白の歴史だとしても。
There it is. Every time. Every time I hear that goddamn noise. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to hear it. Because I have to hear it. I haven't played Pikmin Bloom, so I don't know what they got going on over there, but if they already have a you do not have to leave your house to go do things, fantastic. That's great. And probably a good like point of reference for what we can expect. Though I will still use it as an excuse to make myself go take walks. So, and depending, I don't know what systems exactly they're going to go off of. Because obviously, like, PokeGo has, like, Pokestops and, like, certain landmarks and stuff that you can go to and get stuff. Da-da-da-da-da. I don't know how much that's going to be a thing in this. But if so, then they're walk streams. I can do walk streams. Maybe. Would I just do it for my phone? I don't know how to... Note to self. Look up how to do that. Tried out any... You never even tried, like, Pokemon Go? Even just for, like, a short time? It's mostly just up on your phone and then you walk around. You know, and it, like, reflects that in real time. People with disabilities, the option is there for people who want to be active. For those that can't. Yep. Maybe we can do something like taking over a gym like Pokemon Go. Well, it looks like there's at least, like, raids. Because in Cucks, you had raids. You had big bosses that, like, depending, you could solo. But, like, there would be, like, raid times, basically, where, like, the real big fuckers would show up. And it was an easy way to, like, farm Lux. And so it would be, like, you and, like, the rest of your party, and you're all popping your Lux, your once-a-day Lux boost at the same time, and farming like crazy on these giant fucking raid bosses. And let's see, hibbity bibbity bibbity boo. There, that guy. That looks like a raid boss, and I would not be shocked if there wasn't just a similar mechanic, that there is like a raid that you can fight. And I think in Pokemon Go you can kind of do stuff like that. I played Pokemon Go, and then it stopped working, and I never touched that game again. Well, now you're forced to try playing this. The game was released. I need to think of a good screen name in case they put my username into KH4. Like they did in KH3. Or they put usernames. Okay, sorry. Right, when they did that. I mean, mine's just going to be my regular, right? So I ain't got nothing to worry about. But that would be pretty cool if there was another little, like, haha, let's put... Like, I wish I had gotten into things a little sooner. Because while I was playing Cucks, and I was, like, actively in it, and I kind of, like, I had grown to understand what was going on, like, I was doing pretty well. Like, we would place, I would do well in, like, PvP and stuff, and had that maybe been an option and I was in any competent place at the time, I would have tried to actually get into the game. But, like, everything was still so new for me at the time, and I was kind of figuring out Cucks. And I remember when it was like, okay, this is what we're doing. You know, people who place, like, up to X amount or whatever in this then get to like the name will be in the game in some way. And it was like, oh, cool. But like I barely like, I'm just bumbling around, you know, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And it's just so silly, like so much like after that fact that I was like, I could have done this. I could have done that if I had known what I was doing. I'm so excited for a new thing. I miss Cucks so much. Yeah, I also miss Cucks. I miss having a little, like, just kingy hearts on my phone to play. We all took that shit for granted. So upset they didn't save one of the slots for the player playing. Felt bad to see them all go. That's how I found out I didn't win. Wait, what do you mean? Let's team up to form the gay team to best the raid. It was better to have loved and lost. In Cucks, my party was called the Soriku Squat. And we would pretty regularly like play Swell. Like we were on the like the Anguis, so like we did not have, I say, crazy competition. Because everybody was on like one of two teams, you know, and they were always at the top. Soriku Squad 2. No, it's got to be Squat. We're the Soriku Squat. But anyway, if we do get to form parties or like, because obviously there's going to be like, you will probably choose to be a part of a society in some capacity is what I'm going to expect. But we will see how that plays out. But would love to have a little gaggle of gays where we make a concentrated effort to be very annoyingly placed high. And everybody has to look at us. Yes, I was part of a squad, but I didn't know they had names. Yeah, you could like create your little team, your party. Basically, you just party up, but like you could like name them and put a little description and stuff like that. But I want to place how to get Nomura to notice. Yeah, see, that's going to be our goal. We have to make a concentrated effort. There has to be unity here, okay? We have to all hold hands and farm shit like crazy. Okay? We gotta make the effort. Together, okay? Everybody has to do their part. Actually, some parties in Cucks were kind of, I wouldn't say it's like, whoa, that's so crazy. They just took it very seriously. So, you had to, if you were not meeting, like, a certain, like, Lux requirement weekly, because it would always be at the end of a week, and then, like, things would be placed and so on and so forth. And like if you were not like active or like doing, like you're not putting in the work, like they would kick you from the team and then they would have to go find a replacement. And I'm like, that's totally fair. You can do that. I mean, if you're there to be like, we are doing this very seriously, we are just like, please do this or just don't waste our time, you know, kind of a thing. And I'm like, I get it. And I remember like mine was a lot more casual, obviously. But a lot of us did actually try pretty hard. Not to say that we were tryhards. We were just like regular, you know, using our Lux boost, always doing the raid bosses, you know, and it was just enough to kind of pick everyone up. It's a competitive mobile game. There are always going to be a number of people who are going to be super hardcore about it. It's true. My team was just friends and they all got bored playing the game, so we didn't get anywhere. Yeah, I think that's true for a lot of people. Like, I had several people in my party that were just pals who had started it and then stopped playing, which is fine. I never, like, removed them because I just like to see them there, you know? I've already let my Duolingo friend quest down. I've done that. I've done that a few times. But it's okay. See, if anything, we all have to be fueled by the intense need to be very visibly gay. Everyone has to know that we're being good at the game, and also we are gay people who like the gay people. And that's the true motivator, is that, like, it's funny. I just want to go. I think I had it marked for, like, casual or some, like, baby bullshit version, and then we would keep placing. And there were, like, these other teams that were, like, had cool names or whatever, and it was like Soriku, Squat, and it's like 4 of us, you know? It was really funny. My party was me, my partner, a guy named Exo Slayer, and a bunch of randos who played like once a month. Pretty proud of how high we consistently place in ranking, considering it was basically just 4 active players. See, sometimes that's all you need. It's you and 3 other fucks, and like you just do what you can. And I remember for the longest time it was like I was placing with like the most lux, but then I forget who else it was who started to like outpace me at the time. And I was like, I don't care, we're all on the same fucking team. And one of them was definitely Gam. Gam was he would get quite a bit of shit. I'm just excited to see everybody's little player characters. I'm so excited to like make a character again and run around and just see what strikes me. Because that's always what's fun, is like I never go in with like the idea for a character. I just kind of see whatever. I'm like, oh, that's cute. What if I use this? Blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of just become their own thing, you know? We'll rack up them scoreboards. Everyone will have to deal with us. I just want everyone to have to fucking deal. Cope or whatever, you know? Shit like that. Like, look, you don't fucking come into a game that opens with this shot of the most beautiful eyelashes you've ever seen, and then get mad that there are gay people in it. You know what I mean? Seethe, perhaps? Hope I can make the OC I've made fun. Okay, that was actually the blinds this time. I was also looking at... Hold on. Come on. Come on. There we go.
光と闇から生まれた始まりは心によって育まれた。命は脈々と受け継がれ、時が流れ、やがて世界となった大地は人々の暮らしを作り上げた。
Quaker Oats ass boy.
ここは光と闇、告げ物と告がざ
Covering
る。
up the fucking... Okay. Still not bad looking per se. I'm not saying bad. I'm just saying you can see like the improvement. Like, obviously this is like very underlit. This is a whole like scene, right? Okay, so we have to give it credit. There's a little more going on here than just this, right? But like even for this, like you can see with like the hair, even the styling of the hair, like there's more bangs and stuff. But things just look so much more like polished, you know? Everything looks very polished. Let's get like an eye.
この世界に目覚めたのは
Oh, good. Perfect. Stop. Stop. Oh my God. Like even with like the eyes open, like the dead eye look is gone. Feeling metropolitan. Cosmopolitan? Not a politan. You're back after 2 years. Welcome back. Looking beautiful. I love seeing the door again. Yeah, I know. I'm very excited about it. Yeah, I know. We've all seen the door. Anyway, there's a lot of like little detail and just like, I don't know. It's just, you can see how much things have like improved. Just again, like the biggest thing is like the shape of the hair. But like, I think the ear is like exactly the same, which is funny, but hey, if it works, you know? Yeah, there's just a lot of small things that like make it look so much more like polished and nice.
アストラ
There's no like real fucking direct look at the face here, but like even here, I don't remember, but I like your name. Obviously, 2 to 3 years is a long while, so welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Howie. Don't look at my hair being like totally fucking my slicked back hat hair. That's always what happens when I put on the hat. The hat is like the last resort before I end up having to like actually just wash my fucking hair. So anytime I have it on, it's like, because I'm never wearing that if my hair is clean, because then I'm just gonna flatten the whole thing. Why would I do that? So anyway, it's weird how excited we are all in this group to play a game just to go out in the Gen fandom and people still complaining about mobile game story. I know. Like, that's what's always so silly to me is like seeing like, oh yeah, it's just Kingdom Hearts. Again, free content. It's just free story shit. I'm very interested in it. I'm very excited. And that's not to say that it's like I'm just consuming it mindlessly and without criticism, but I think oftentimes I'm seeing people mistake like their own just kind of wants as like, this should be the story, like this should be the direction they're taking because I want to see that. And it's just like, sorry, man, like you can still want to see it and like enjoy what's being put in front of you. You know, like you can have that kind of criticism of, hey, after like really establishing this well-loved cast that like, I think they're kind of wasting the potential of some of these characters, which I don't personally feel that way per se. I feel like a lot of these characters had their stories kind of wrapped up in a way that's like, you know, Roxas wants his, like, the only thing he wants to worry about day to day is like what he's gonna have for lunch. Like that's what he wants to go to school. He wants to think about what he's having for lunch tomorrow. And he can have that. That's fine. His whole thing was that he was forcefully brought into existence, and then he had that completely stripped away from him. So, like, let him just be a guy, you know? Roxas is autistic, and he wants his routine. It's true. Anyway, the kids outside do agree. They do be yelling. But I don't know. People have the they have the criticisms. I get the criticisms and not really always thought out about, is this a good like story decision? Is this a good direction? Just because I want to see it doesn't mean this is where it should go. Age fandom, handshake, Voltron fandom. Most of shit people say about the writing quality is based on what they personally want to happen and not what's actually there. Yeah, basically. And I think that's very common for virtually any piece of media, which is why so often, like, fans are, like, the worst for this kind of thing. Like I had been. And I don't want to get into it because I'm gonna get really pissed. But I was seeing, like, I just happened to watch different videos talking about different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle properties. One being the movie, the other being Rise of TMNT, which was the show, the most recent like show that like looks really cool, and I still need to watch it. And each time were people who are fans of the series complaining about the dumbest fucking thing I have ever heard in my life, instead of just appreciate, like, it doesn't have to be your thing, but that doesn't mean it is a bad thing, you know? And oftentimes it's people like holding on to like, well, I like it when it's this way, and because it didn't do that, I don't really like it. And then it's just like, okay, that's not like a criticism, that is just a preference. That those are different things. That is just what you want. I mean, that's not to talk to taste, because I think your taste is bad, but also this is like not objective in any way, but it was like, it's like, what was it? One of the guys who worked on Rise of TMNT, which is very, very stylized, and they really pushed the character designs in a way that kicks ass. It looks so good. There's so much good like shape, you know, and one of the guys who worked on it had also worked on like the 2012 show, which was the CGI like one, and they all look very similar, right? Because they typically do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? But he was saying that it was like people were so mad that we gave Donatello a gap tooth. They were so mad, and it was over nothing, right? And he was just like, you know, you realize that like you're never going to please them, so you should just do what you want anyway. And so we just went hard on like these designs and like had fun with it and stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, good, because you made a really, really good like product. Like, it's a really good show. You know what you're doing. Just because they don't like it doesn't mean it's bad. Yeah, also, Gaptooth is cute, but it's like, it's so funny when it's like that show, they look like the exact fucking same. Like, they all are the same shape guy. They're just, and then they couldn't stand just one iota of like change. And it's just like, do you want the exact same thing over and over and over and over again? Can nothing change or be different? You still have all that old stuff. But anyway, that's all to say that fans are kind of the worst. And I say that being one. We are all fans, right? But there's a degree of like fans who think they know what the series should be. And there are so many people who, most all of them are always like, this is what I want to see because I like it. And not any actual like objective like look at the media or what it's trying to deliver. Just because it's not doing what you are expecting does not mean it is a bad thing. Just because it is not doing the exact thing you want with the characters that you like doesn't mean it's a bad thing that it's doing with the characters you like. You know, it's just really important to be able to differentiate like, oh, I would have liked if it had done this, but that does not mean it was bad. Like, I think there are things about 358 that like, I personally would not have done this or that, but I don't think what was there is necessarily bad at all. Like, I see it. I get it. Like, it's you know, it's truly one of the best and most important skills you can develop. Being an adult, please start now if you haven't. Being able to differentiate between things that you like and whatever bias you came in with to, you know, prior to watching or playing or doing whatever with any series, you know, and being able to differentiate that and then appreciating simply what the story is trying to do. And that's not even to say that the story is always going to do that thing good. That's fine. I'm not saying that these two things are like totally mutually exclusive or anything. It's just like being able to recognize what you want to see and what the actual story is giving you. But let's see. Now I gotta catch up. The frontal lobe final dev stage. This is why I feel like people need a media literacy class and learning the difference between preference and genuine criticism. Yeah. There are a lot of things that should genuinely actually be taught in school, like home ec and learning to cook should not be an option. I think people should just be taught the basics of cooking in general. It's a life skill. Like, yes, we do live in a way that, like, you can kind of just get by on pre-made foods and all of this stuff, right? But you are shit out of luck the second you don't have those. And it's like, even just knowing the most basic standard shit can get you so far. I was literally just talking about this in the car, like, the other day, where I was like, people who, like, pride themselves on the ignorance of, oh, I can't cook, I'm so useless cooking, haha, I just order everything, you know? And I'm just like, don't talk to me. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's funny. Like, I'm just like, that's sad. Leave me alone. The refusal to, like, want to learn something, that's what I'm like, I don't think this is funny anymore, actually. And I think you're severely annoying. Goodbye. Like, being able to go like, oh, haha, like, I'm sorry, I don't know shit, and trying to, like, figure it out. Totally different. Absolutely different. But, like, really just kind of, like, embracing the, I am so stupid, oh, I can't do this, hee hee, I'll never change. And I'm just like, I'm just shut down. I'm like, no, I'm not fucking engaging with this, I'm sorry. I don't think it's funny. Yeah, you could learn to make scrambled eggs, and that can still get you by. And it's so, like, it can save your ass so hard. Just being able to go, like, you know what? I can get some eggs. I can make those suckers, and they'll fill you up for a while. And eggs, at least now, are not as expensive as they were a little bit ago. But, like, typically eggs are supposed to be pretty cheap. But it's an easy way to get by. But it's like, also, there's so much stuff on YouTube these days that, like, can teach you step by fucking step how to do virtually anything. You know, that it's just like, you are being willfully ignorant if you do not want to, like, try and learn, like, a basic life skill. You know, something that, like, you don't even have to be that good at it. Just being able to know how to, like, cook something, or even, like, to cook meat once for the first time. Just to know the rules to it. Like, what makes, like, you know, what will get you sick, what won't get you sick, you know, like, yes, you can eat red meat that's a little raw, right? But, like, no, you should not be doing that with chicken, and there is a very big difference and reasons why. And it's like how a lot of, like, the bacteria and illnesses, like, with meat, it doesn't go in, it usually sits on the surface, but chicken, it gets, like, permeated with it, which is why you have to cook it all the way through, okay? You don't get to have medium rare chicken steaks, all right? Don't do that. And you don't have to you don't have to wash your meat, because it just splatters fucking all of the everything everywhere. It's you don't have to do that. Like, if you were to rinse them, just don't do it with, like, running water splashing everywhere, but, like, you kind of want to pat that shit dry afterwards anyway, or you're just gonna have some soggy shit boiling. I didn't know how to use a can opener, so I looked it up on YouTube. Hey, that's fine. I had a friend who did not know how to use our can opener because she had just experienced a different kind of can opener. And I was like, oh, that's easy. You know, you just kind of, and then, and I was just showing her how to do it. Like, not knowing something is not a crime. That's just the way life is. You know, you're just going to go through life, and there's always going to be something you had no fucking idea how to do, or that it existed, or anything like that. And nobody should feel, like, ashamed of that. It's just, once people embrace the, like, oh, I don't know, and I'm never gonna know, you know, and then I'm like, cut it, stop, you know. Like, just being able to go, oh, I don't know how to fucking do that, and then just, like, Google it, you know, or ask your friend or something like that. And if someone makes you feel bad for that, fuck that guy, or tell them, hey, like, if they're your friend and you care, just be like, dude, that makes me feel bad for no fucking reason. I just don't know how to do this. Do you want to teach me, or do you want to be an asshole? And then usually, you know what? They're going to stop. But if they don't, well, then fuck that guy. We have this guy up here. I'm gonna go back over here really quick because we're just talking about fucking whatever. But gotten a lot better at cooking the last few years. Basically, cooking frozen veggies and meat and slapping some spices on helps you get you pretty far. Yeah, it's simple. It's simple shit like that. Or being able to, like, develop the ability to just, like, to taste test and know what it's missing. To be like, you know what, this would be better with a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of pepper, maybe not, you know, maybe it could use a little bit of an herb of some kind. Like, just having that kind of knowledge stored up here will take you so far. Learned how to bake peanut butter oatmeal cookies just using eggs, peanut butter, and honey. You know, say, there you go. And it's like a nice little easy treat and snack. I do think we shouldn't get mad at people who are trying to learn stuff, though. Yeah. That is often a reason why people don't like to try and learn new things, or they don't speak up when they don't know how to do something. Because people make them feel bad about it. And I know when I was much younger, I had done that to people, and I do feel bad about that, because it's like, it's just such a knee-jerk, like, reaction. And also, honestly, a lot of it came from my parents. They do that a lot. And having been away from that for so long, and I'm like, oh my god, a lot of my family's so mean. They're so fucking, like, everyone's like, haha, is jokes, but, like, you know, it's just, like, mean shit. I'm like, damn, you guys. You could be living so much more happily. I asked my dad, hey, how do you tie a slip knot? And he's like, you don't know? I remember asking my dad, like, genuinely, I had never made soup from a can before. And I vaguely knew before that, like, with, like, condensed soup, you would, like, add some kind of liquid to it. Because otherwise it's condensed, right, to fit in the can. And so you kind of add the liquid back, whether it's milk or water or something. And so I had sort of working knowledge, but, like, I wasn't sure. And I was like, Dad, how do you do this? And then he just laughed at me and then was just like, it's soup in a can. You heat it up. And I was like, well, no, but aren't there other steps? Like, I have some, and, like, yeah, I was right. There are other steps to it. You don't have to. You can have your thick soup. And sometimes it's good when it's, like, chowder and I just want the I want the chowder, right? But, like, it depends. You don't have to. But it was just, I'm like, okay, well, how should I heat it up then? And it was just like, in the microwave? What do you want from me? Ha ha ha, you know? And it's just like, I just wanted to know one fucking thing I've never done before. And it's like, just a lot of shit like that. You know what I mean? It just makes you not want to ask anybody for help. And that sucks. So one time I tried making a smoothie, but I thought you could make it without adding liquid and I got yelled at. Well, that sucks. You're like, well, fruit, stuff, yogurt, maybe, you know, you're kind of like, I don't, you know, ice, I guess. Yeah, you want to, you know, add probably like milk or some other, you know, sometimes you can just use water if you really need to, but, like, oh, the memories of eating condensed soup as a 14-year-old. This is real simple. You do steps 8, 9, then 13. Yeah, there's something that's, like, really important to always, like, keep in mind as well, is that, like, this is something too that, again, routing back to, like, the fan idea, is that, like, people forget that they have a lot of working knowledge of this stuff already. So something that seems really simple to them, for somebody who has zero working knowledge, they have to start at step 1. They have to. And you have to remember and keep that in mind. And so there's a lot of, like, you know, I'll even see it with, like, Kingdom Hearts or trying to explain something and just, like, assuming, you know, it's, what's that one comic that's, like professionals, like, having a skewed idea of, like, people's working knowledge and being like, oh yeah, it's this, this, and this, and then this really hyper-specific geology thing. And it was like, everybody knows hyper-specific geology thing, of course, right? And it's just shit like that, where it's just like, you have to remember, people, you started at step 1 somewhere. Everybody starts at some point at step 1. And that is the same that goes for, like, media and stories at the same time, especially something that's been going on as long as Kingdom Hearts has, where, like, people take for granted that you have a lot of working knowledge of the series already. So when you get pissed off about something, or just, like, taking the time to try and explain something that you already know, it's just like, somebody doesn't know this. They have to know, you know? Or like people do that and then they go and try to make videos fucking explaining a long standing, like ongoing series in the driest, densest way possible that only works for other people who already know this shit anyway. It's just like, you're killing me. You're killing your papa. Don't. So it's just, you always have to remember, you know, people, it's not even like people learn at different rates. It's just like, you have to like it's important to be like self-aware. Like, how much do I know versus somebody is coming to me for the first time asking for something to be explained, and then not be an asshole about it when they don't know something that you may assume that they would know. Like, people just don't know, and it's just like, oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, okay, hold on, let me backtrack a little bit. So this and this is also why people are not good at explaining things most of the time, because they aren't taking into account what you need to know to even get to the point that they're trying to explain. It's just driving me nuts, okay? It drives me insane, which is, like, still why I want to make videos explaining this thing. But, like, shit is hard. Brain is bad. I have the room now, at least, to do, like, video editing stuff, thankfully. But, like, boy, am I just making it to the day-to-day, and I'm, like, lucky if I finish one drawing. So, you know, but by God, am I always thinking of it. Oh, actually, by the way, fun little fact, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, that I happened to check my archive channel, and the Soriku TED Talk 2019 has 10K views, which is a lot. A lot more than I was expecting, especially given that it's like my mic sounds like shit, and I'm just fucking rambling for like 5 straight hours nonstop. Like, yeah, there's some kind of through lines here and there, but it's like ADHD palpable. That it's so me just talking about whatever. I'm trying to take notes, I stop taking notes, you know. It's a whole fucking thing. Yeah, Lion King intro, the start. So, that's exciting. It's your bedtime story. Me going, Soriku! We all know the start. So, anyway, that's exciting, but that's also, like, promising. It's nice that it's just like, oh, I could just be making videos that talking about stuff and people like to hear it. I mean, granted, a lot of you are here right now, which is kind of proving my point, I suppose, but, like, you know, what if it was, like, organized and presentable and put in a way that's easy to understand, because I'm, like, super fucking conscious of that at all times, because I'm struggling to put my own thoughts into order a lot of the time, and not lose my train of thought. That pause, that was dangerous. That was real close. So, the close your eyes and we hear Riku panting and calling Sora. Was that in there? Because I have a clip of that, obviously, but was that, like, in the TED Talk? Oh yeah, I do remember that I hold your hands, my hands are very warm. And they are, it's true. Oh, hi, Sunny. I just saw. Hi, hello. How's it going? Evenings are pretty okay. Yeah, you said that. The fucking, the clip, the part, I don't know. Because I had streamed several times before that, and each time was me just, like, going insane. And one of my streams was, like, 12 hours long. Huh, this sounds weird out of context, calling it friend's name while panting. Calling your friend's name. Nice. I'm going back to having some fucking tunes. Okay, cool. Well, I'm so glad I did that, and I'm glad that, like, 10,000 people have seen that. Because I have, like, the separate clip of that, I think, on Twitch, but, like... Anyway. that was a sidebar to the wanting to make videos thing. I still wonder where the Mr. Broad Shoulders and Tiny Waist clip came from. One of my streams I didn't save. I didn't really save any of them because I would just stream, talk about fucking whatever for 12 hours and then stop the stream. And then I got a blood clot in my leg. Don't do that. So I was fine. I'm okay. But this is the 2 a.m. theme. Oh yeah, this is the GameCube Animal Crossing 2 a.m. theme, and I love it. Yeah, that and then Boat. That was another where I was getting sent a bunch of AMVs and we were just watching them, and it was I was like losing my mind over that fucking clip because it really just took so long to like sink in. Like, I thought it was really funny at the start, but it wouldn't quite let go. And then as it went on, like it was like half an hour of me laughing at this fucking boat because it was so literal for no reason that it was like, what was the line? It was just like, if you're the sea, then like I'll be your boat or something. And it's like, oh, it's metaphorical. We're metaphorical. But then it was like the sea, and then it was like boat, and it like flashes image of a boat, and it was something that was just so like I was like losing it. It was just such a like so not romantic. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be the metaphor. And it was just like, we gotta flash the boat at the dock, you know? And I was like, no, I can't do this. It was too much. It was much too much for me. Will you be my boat? Will you show me the picture of the boat you're gonna be? I wanna see it. I wanna see the boat. What kind of boat? I hope it's a handsome boat. Boat XC. But yeah, anyway, I had a lot of streams around then that was just like I was just doing whatever, or I would just draw, you know, and talk with people. It would always like devolve. I was never just staying on like one subject kind of a thing. Nowadays, I actually like try to have like a theme. Like I'm going in and I'm like, I'm going to play this game today, or I'm going to draw, or we're gonna talk. And this is probably just gonna be me talking for the most part. I know I said I might play Recoded, but what if I didn't and I just sat here and talked to you in 4K? It sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So yeah, there's a lot of, unfortunately, like, very funny bits and pieces, and dare I say even gems from past streams, and they are just totally gone to the void, and some of them only exist by those little clips. So, you know, this whole me actually keeping an archival of all of my streams is a much more recent development. That was earlier this year. I finally got it caught up and been doing that, so, and that was at request, so you guys better appreciate it. I always wonder how people make discussion videos on things they like, because I keep thinking about making my own, but then I realize I have no one to talk with. I guess it's just like finding your pals, because like you can have discussion videos, you can also make podcasts, you can also just, like, I just sit up here and talk to a camera and you guys, and I can do that for hours because I'm really good at talking. It's something I can do, so. This, like, camera is making me, like, see, like, freckles on my face I don't think I was noticing before. Like, I've always had, like, little ones, but, like, over the summer I was, like, getting my freckles back. I used to have freckles, like, all over when I was a kid because I would go outside. I was very freckly And now I have like a bare minimum stuff on my arms, but it used to be a lot like they were coming back, and it's like a lot, like it's all in there, right? Like a bunch of those like little freckles. So, but it was mostly like my right arm, because this is the one that was always hitting the sun, whether I was in the car or like even the window here, and it's just like roasting. So like I was just not even getting a tan, just freckles, and it was like one side. So, make your vids. I need to. I want to. It's so, everything is so hard. I'm like trying to. All right, you're gonna listen to me whine for a moment. I have merch that I need to make, and thankfully once you make merch, you only kind of have to make it the one time, unless you want to tweak something, but like you make it the one time and then you can keep kind of printing those suckers off and sell them as you need to. I have something that I'm thankfully almost done with that has been, I don't know why it's been like pulling teeth to get this stupid thing done, which has been holding up a bunch of other shit that's needed to get done. I still have a backlog of commissions that I had meant to much earlier in the year to finally just slog through, but spring and summer was way busier than I expected it to be. We're recapping the year right now, and so I had to go to a bunch of different cons. We had to travel around, you know, and like I've gotten to do fun things, don't get me wrong, like I gotta go to California, I gotta go to Disneyland for the first time, like this is great, but like I've just been fucking busy, right? Just been doing shit all year, having people come to the house, having people move out, having people move in, you know, moving stuff from upstairs down here, and all of this on top of just like every day is a struggle to reel my fucking wild horse brain to just go like blinders, like just travel the path, just do task, do your task, and then I do some of this and that, and then something distracts me, and like so much has to go into just getting one thing done, and it's so annoying. And it's like on top of that, like, you know, regularly I'm trying to stream, and then suddenly it's stream day and I'm like, fuck, what am I doing today? I could draw. Nah, usually it's draw, talk, or play a game, right? Those are kind of the three go-tos. And it's a lot of just like, I'm doing that, and then after that's done, then I'm like, okay, well, what am I doing with the rest of my night? Usually I don't want to sit at my computer, but drawing away from my computer is not as much of an option as I wish it was. So, like I have a tablet, that shit's hard to draw on. It drives me crazy. I'm trying though. I'm trying so hard to make it work because I want it to. I would love to just sit on the couch and do a thing, right? That'd be so cool. And be a nice option to have. But you know, it's I gotta get there first. I keep trying to find the way to like make it feel okay so I can actually just do the work. Otherwise, drawing on my computer is kind of the best option, and then, even then, it's hard to start, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. Even when I take my meds, you know, sometimes you take the meds, and then you concentrate on the wrong thing, and then you do that for 3 hours, and then you go, oops, I'm hungry, and then you eat food, and then you're like, it's kind of late. I don't know if I should take my meds again. Maybe I'll stop. But then you're up late anyway. So then you spend like 5 to 6 hours watching Iron Chef, you know? And it's just like, yeah! I'm gonna die. Driving me insane. Me. I'm sick and tired of this guy ruining my life, you know? I'm just driving me crazy. I have a whole like whiteboard over here that's like, I've been trying to keep track. I have it written month, things I'm trying to do through the month, or things that are upcoming that are important to keep note. Like I have it's not even for me, it's for my partner. Kumori-con is gonna be happening, so I gotta write that down. And then we got like other stuff where it's like, I gotta order merch, I gotta do all this other stuff. But then I have to write by week what I'm trying to do within the week, and then I gotta write what I'm doing today to keep track of things. And then sometimes I just forget it's there. I just forget what I've written, and I looked back the other day, and it was like from 2 weeks ago, like shit that I had just totally not erased or updated or anything. And I was like, yeah, I should update that. So then last night I was like trying to update it, and then also trying to like finish shit, and then Puggy Sleep's been helping my schedule. If I can't sleep, I can't use my phone anyway, so I just art. That's fair. My sleeping schedule, it got a little fucked up literally because of Baldur's Gate. It was entirely Baldur's Gate's fault. I was being such a good little boy going to bed. It was like 2 in the morning, which is fine. Okay, we were getting home, but it was nice being able to get up like before 12 p.m. And things were good because we had been doing so many conventions, traveling around a lot, so our sleeping schedule was okay. And then we played Baldur's Gate, and everything went out the fucking window. And now I'm going to sleep at like 4 in the morning, which is usually not a problem. Like, I like staying up late, but like, I also like being able to be up. And now I have a new goal because Burgerville has breakfast items. And I want to try them so bad, but they stopped selling them at 11, and so now I have to use this as motivation to fix my sleep schedule, because otherwise, how am I gonna get my breakfast sandwich from Burgerville? What am I gonna do? So now I have to do that. Anyway, this is all a lot of me complaining about very clearly just disorganized ADHD problems that, like, I know how to fix them, but like, it's never easy, you know? There's never a fix and then it stops being a problem. It's always a lot of like juggling. Like, we're driving a cart and there's a bunch of shit on the table, but there's nothing holding the shit on the table, and so we're going down the fucking bumpy road, you know, and like, I'm keeping the shit on, but at all times I have to be like, and I'm reaching and I'm grabbing that bottle and I'm trying to like hold it in, and sometimes, you know, it's okay, and I'm just sitting there and we're traveling down that smooth, easy road, and I get some good stuff done. But a lot of the times is like, it is a constant game of batting things back into order to try desperately to stay on that straight and narrow path. It's hard. And so, like, so often am I just to myself thinking, like, okay, how would I word and explain this thing? Because it's always like, you know, it's tucked away in the back of the brain, being like, I want to make a video explaining this thing. I want to, like, but then I have to, like, sit down and start trying to type this stuff out. And it's like, I have done that with several different things. And then I have failed to come back to them because I'm like, oh, wait, I gotta do the thing that needs to be done right now, you know? And then I do that. And then I'm like, I did it. I guess I got the rest of the night, you know, and then, like, then it's the next day, and then suddenly I gotta handle that thing for today. It's just so much of, like, everything is always revolving. Task is hard, especially task with multiple steps and creative decisions is, hard to get past all of, like, the stop gaps of that process. And so it's really easy when I can just, like, boot up stream and then just talk to you and explain a thing, and I'm glad that it can also now stay archived because I can reference back shit I have said, because sometimes I say it great the first time and then I don't remember how I said it, and then, you know, so I can just go back and be like, good point, past me. I can put this task off for the next day, is the devil speaking. And I wish it was so simple as me deciding to put task off for the next day, as much it is I did something else and then I forgot it existed, and then I continued to forget it existed entirely. You need someone to bounce the work off of that'll help you be working. I could try writing on stream. I could try, like, I've considered that before, but like, I can imagine that might be kind of boring, but I guess that's not the point. It doesn't always have to be like a fucking 5-star entertainment. I'm literally just sitting here in a room with like bullshit whatever behind me. Like, it's not here to be like some fucking professional show, right? But like but I could always give it a shot, you know? Never hurts to try and just see what we get. And like, obviously, like, I can write and I can write things out and I can do very extended things. Hold on, I'll get to the chat in a second, because point being, oh, the Sleeping Realm theory, that's a lot of fucking writing, and most of that was me. Not all of it, but most of it. Including, like, all of those updates, those, like, furthered subjects, like, I can do that. But those things also took time. I mean, writing takes time, but more so that, like, initially writing these things out, it was like a month of on and off me trying to pull teeth to get myself to actually write stuff. And then every time those updates happened, it was always the night before the actual next, like, piece of media dropped. Like, it was the night before fucking Remind dropped, or Melody of Memory dropped, or, like, anything like that, and it was just me, you know. Yeah, it was a hyper-fixation focus kind of a thing. Even then, I was struggling to get myself to write that for a long time. Which is why it took, like, that whole month to write. Which is not to say that, like, that's super unreasonable, but it was a lot of me, like, fucking head against the wall, like, please, God, do chore, do task, do anything. You like to talk. Why not just write it down? Go! I remember you taking down requests for specific topics people wanted to see discussed on stream, and that was pretty fun. I kind of remember this. But I kind of don't. See, this is the problem. When you have forget everything disease. All the time with this. And it's still true. People will, like, say something I said in a stream, and, like, I was there. I said it. I have no idea what they're talking about. I have to, like, you gotta timestamp it, and then I go, oh, I did say that, didn't I? Just, like, oh my god. Ugh. Things that require daily maintenance, but do not have a good place to slot into a routine or my nemesis. Then I feel bad about only doing them twice a week. Yeah. I've tried making lists to remind me of what's in the pantry or fridge, but I always fall out of the habit of making sure those lists are up to date. Yeah, I can fucking imagine. Miku needs deadlines, it's true. But, like, deadlines that I make up, they don't work. It doesn't fucking work, because I'm just like, well, I'll just, like, I'll try it on myself, like, quite a bit, where I'd be like, okay, I want to get this done by this time, so we can get this shit out the door, and then we're gonna be okay, you know, and this would be smart. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't fucking work. It's only, like, if it is outside of me, and, like, someone's like, I am doing this by this time, if you don't have it into me, then it's not gonna happen, and I'm like, got it, and then I get it done immediately. Like, it's... well, I'd have to decide a deadline. I guess I don't really have one. I was thinking, though, that I do actually, once again, want to be free of all of my stupid built-up commissions before the year ends. Because that was kind of... I wanted to start the year off right by clearing my plate, but then I didn't quite get there. So if I can have at least the deadline of finishing all of this stupid shit before the end of the year, that would be so cool. Can't make the deadline. I know that bitch, and they're full of shit. But I couldn't tell you exactly how, everything that works, other than if something is a pressuring deadline, as in it needs to happen, like, right then, I'll just get it done. Which is why I've gotten a lot of the merch stuff I have made recently has been because there was a sale for 2 days, and then I would make it on that second day, and I would just take the day, draw it out, send that shit in, and then I would get one, right? And, like, that's how a lot of this stuff has happened. And it works. I don't want it to have to be that way, but, like, I don't know. Life's a journey, and I'm figuring it out one day at a time. Woo, woo, woo. Barely ever made deadlines in school. It was only because I had massive extra time slots. See, and sometimes I would have classes that I would just finish, like, the homework and all the work within the class before it ended. And then there were other classes that was like, okay, here's your thing, and you have the rest of the class to work on it, and then I would not at all. And then I would get it done, like, the day before. Maybe. I, like, never finished or turned in any kind of work, like, chronically. But then I would take a test, and I would, like, ace it, like, really hard. And they were like, what is happening? Like, you're obviously retaining something, but you don't do work. And I'm like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. would deadlines where you split up the work with someone help? Like, what do you mean? My partner is always like, well, think of how good you'll feel when you've done the thing. And every time I'm like, babe, I cannot begin to explain how utterly impossible that is. It's also something where, like, sometimes you get it done and you just don't feel anything, but maybe irritation. Like, it's hard to describe that. It's just like, oh yeah, God, I just want to get this shit out of the way. That'll be nice, you know? Like, it doesn't work. It's not a motivating factor at all. There's, like, nothing. It just gets done, and then you're pissed that it took so long to just do the small task. You know what I mean? You're just mad that you're like, yeah, I know it was easy. Yes, I know, great, it's out of the way now, but, like, it was so difficult to even just get doing it that it's like, great, there, it's done. Take it. I'm done now. Like, if someone does the vid edit, they need the art that the other does. Oh, yeah, no, okay, I understand. Like, as if, like, it's not just me, like, there's somebody else, and, like, they need something right, so that would be like, oh, let me get that thing for you. And, like, yeah, when people need things from me, it's easier. But, like, having a general, like, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna need you to have to do these things, you know, for the video, generally, I'll be like, sure thing. And it will not happen until they absolutely need it right the fuck then. Like, if it's not like, I need this by this time, then it's just like, I'm so willing to do it, but I'm not gonna, like, and this isn't a choice. It's just the, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, okay, I should get this out of the way in a timely manner. Like, if I could do that, then none of this would be a problem in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's just like, if someone's like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you do this really quick? And I'd be like, oh, sure. And I just do it immediately. Also, decision paralysis and deciding which task to do makes it harder. Yeah. Even if it's something like which video game to play. Yeah. Some of that stuff where it, like, less of it matters. I can just be like, that one, you know, and just let it fucking rip, and it's okay. But, unfortunately, it's just like, unless the thing is needed immediately, and not like, it doesn't have to be like, God, this has to happen now, or it will never happen. It's like, if someone were to propose, like, we should watch this movie, and I'll be like, yeah, we should. And then it will, like, never happen. But if someone were to suddenly be like, hey, I want to go watch, I'm about to watch this movie, do you want to come? And I'll be like, yeah, okay. Like, it's about, like, the, like, I can only, like, look at whatever is happening right in front of me kind of a thing, I guess. You know, that's the only way you're, like, making, like, task happen. And so if it's just kind of an immediate, like, oh, this has to happen right now, and I go, oh, okay, and, like, do it. And oftentimes this has to happen right now because it has to, or it's not happening at all. Unfortunately, most of the time it is that, you know, that set of parameters of, like, this has to happen now or nothing. And it's like, oops, okay, you know, and getting it all done. But, like, similarly, if someone just asked me to do something real quick, if you were to tell me, can you clean the kitchen today? And then I'd be like, yeah. And then it would be, like, looming over my brain like a bomb. And then I'm like, and I can't do anything else all day until I clean the kitchen. And then I'm not starting it, you know? Or if someone was like, hey, could you do the dishes for me really quick? Like right now? And I'd be like, yep. I get up and then I go do the thing. Like, it's that easy. It's just, like, about the immediacy of it that, like, makes it happen. So oftentimes that's opportunistic as well. So it'll be like, I have to carve a pumpkin, and, you know, I wasn't going in with the idea to make something crazy, but only because it's presented to me right then. I'm like, what if I did this really complicated, crazy idea? And I had to, like, wrangle myself back from doing it this year. And I was just like, make it simple, make it easy, just be done. No problem. We don't have to go fucking insane like we do every single time. Time for us to start. Please actually do. I'm sorry if you get tired of doing it, but even just like having that like little like reminder of like, hey, how's that going? Have you started yet? Or I would love to see that, you know, anything like that. And I go, right, you're so right. Okay, hold on. You know. Sounds like the appointment brain. If it's close but not close enough, the brain is like, there is not enough time to do anything until appointment. Yeah, exactly. That's definitely it. And that was something that like, my therapist at the time was like kind of helping me with, because a lot of the time blindness too is with not knowing how long anything takes. And so say you have like 3 hours before something you have to do, generally, right? And it's basically like 3 hours. Oh my god, that's no time to do anything. 3 hours is a long time to do anything, actually. That's a pretty good amount of time to do something. In fact, that's exactly how long my meds last. So, like, if I knew I had 3 hours coming up, I could just take the meds and then fucking do something, right? At least for 2 hours, I don't know. But it's something that, like, and maybe this will help somebody else, because it has helped me, but, like, there are so many, like, little things that I know will help me, and then I forget to actually use them on myself, and then things start to slip, and then I'm getting disorganized and I'm forgetting what I was supposed to do, and so on and so forth. So this is one of those things that definitely helps, where it was like, okay, for example, you have to do a commission. You do not know how long it takes start to finish to do a commission. So first, let's break this down into parts. We do a sketch. Maybe you send that sketch to your commissioner. Cool. That's done and out of the way. You don't have to do anything until you hear it again, right? But we don't know how long that takes, right? And within 3 hours before an appointment or something, let's say, you could probably do a sketch in 3 hours, right? But like, we're going to see exactly how long a task takes from start to finish, okay? And we're going to start with just turn everything off, phone away, Discord, any chat programs, anything like that, away. I have an impulse blocker that helps me from mindlessly opening Twitter. And then it was like, set a timer for an hour or even half an hour if you can't get an hour out, right? Start with like half an hour or an hour or whatever, and then just set that timer and then do task for that exact amount of time and see how far you get. Just see where you get. And surprisingly, you can get a lot done in an hour. You can get a lot done, especially when you're just kind of focused on that task and nothing else. And you know what? An hour, not very much time to have to like spend. You know, it's like sometimes there's always this like feeling of like, oh god, but like people are talking about something. I should go see what they're talking about. It's gonna be there when you get back. But it's also something that's like, you know what? So often within an hour, people don't say jack shit. They're not saying anything. People are at their jobs. People are watching a show. People are eating food. You know, like an hour, you can do so much within an hour, but it's about developing that sense of scale. And then also the habit of being able to, even just for an hour, closing everything off and focusing on the one task. And then stopping. And if you can keep going, sure. But I think you should, again, put another time limit on, because it also checks in and it keeps you keeping track of time. Because you can do a task and then disappear into it for like 5 hours, and then you have no idea how you got there. And then maybe 2 of those 5 hours, you know, you got distracted on YouTube for a little while trying to find something to watch. And then when you're trying to find something to watch that you can ignore, you ended up watching another video that was like half an hour of something that was really interesting, so you couldn't quite not watch it, you know what I mean? And so you just watched the whole video. And then you were kind of hungry, and so you went and got a snack, and you came back, and you went, oh, right, I was gonna keep drawing. Oh, I need to put something on the side. So then you're back to scrolling through YouTube. And, you know, shit like that. So it's about just, like, making sure, like, you have to give yourself this structure, because it doesn't exist in the brain otherwise. Like, all of this shit is just, like, I know people who can just do this shit for hours and be like, oh yeah, it's been 3 hours, okay, I'll stop, you know, and, like, it exists. Not here, though. Not for me. So you have to, like, You have to outside, like, build this structure for yourself. So you just have to be like, sure, yeah, you can keep going. But instead of saying, I'm going to take all day to work on this commission, guess what? Most of that day is going to be you fucking around. So, like, if you just instead say, today I'm going to work on this commission, I'm just going to work an hour, and I'm going to do this one step. I'm going to do an hour for this sketch. And hey, maybe you finish it. Great. That's awesome. Maybe you can move on to the next step. Another hour. Time yourself. Give yourself this, like, sense of time and scale, and it will give you a better idea of exactly how long it takes to even do the task in the first place. And then, when you go, I have 3 hours before this fucking appointment, not every time is it going to work. You are still going to have the, oh god, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I gotta be, I gotta be there, like, half an hour early, but then I gotta eat at least 20 minutes before that, and then I gotta, like, wake up, and I gotta make the food, and then I gotta, and then suddenly your whole day is one thing, but, like, that's still gonna happen. But, like, if you have you're like, I have a few hours, and you're like, actually, you know what I can do for at least an hour? I can work on a sketch. I could do a task. I could write. I did this specifically when I was writing something that I needed to write for the sleeping room theory, and I had just set an hour and turned everything off. And then I, like, wrote the whole thing that I needed to write and had been agonizing about for, like, months. And I just got it done in, like, that hour. And it's like, oh. Oh, okay. I think the perfectionism, that's a totally separate problem that, like, is something that's really important to try to unroot as much as you can. Because, if it's never finished, it doesn't even have the chance to be, like, perfect in the first place. And it's probably better that it's something instead of nothing. You know what I mean? It's just something that, like, people don't notice. If it's, like, art, people just consume that shit in, like, 2 seconds, and they go, wow! And they just don't notice shit that's wrong. All the time. You just don't have to worry about it. Sometimes I'll do a commission, and then I think, this doesn't really look that great to me, but then I'm like, it's not for me. And then I send it to them, and they go, oh my god, I love this. And I go, there we go. Like, I would have just been wasting my fucking time for no reason when they loved what was already there. The reason I got homework done on time when I was younger is because my mom was watching me. Just been hyper-focusing realizing the appointment by 2 hours. Timer thing before, and it never worked for me, but I've never applied it to appointment brain. I might have to actually try that. You're missing out, which makes it hard. Because, see, here's the thing. With the, like, timing for an hour thing, it's not about getting it done in the hour. It's designating a start and stop point for your working, so you don't just fucking, like, fill in the whole time and get, like, 2 things done. Instead, you're just like, oh, I'm only doing this thing for an hour, and then you'll find yourself, like, because there's an endpoint, it's not just task, needs to get done. And you're like, ugh, and then you're, like, trying to do one fucking thing for 4 hours, Instead, it's just like, I'm just gonna try and do this for an hour. There's a start time, there is a stop time, and then you will do way more than you expect. And then you have at least some sense of scale for how much you can get done in an hour if you are in this kind of nice little, like, start and stop state. Because I think part of it, too, is, like, yeah, the immediacy, like, helps, but, like, having something be any kind of nebulous, you're fucked. You're fucked. I'm fucked. You're probably fucked, too, anyway. It's just one of those things that it's like, you have to have the clean the kitchen, and you're like, God, where do I start? Oh, Jesus, even though you've done all of this shit before, but now it's like, and you can't fucking do anything, right? And if it's just like, no, how about just do the dishes? And then sometimes it's even more specific. It's like, hey, unload the dishwasher. And you're like, I could do that. I can unload the dishwasher. What's next? Putting dishes in the dishwasher? That's fantastic. Guess what? You did task. Do dishes. Stuff like that. It's like, if you can recognize when something is way too nebulous, and open-ended, and that you're just not gonna fucking do it, or you don't know where to start, That's when we need to start breaking it down into small pieces and then giving it like parameters. So stuff that people would take for granted, but you're like, okay, I can't just clean kitchen. I have to do dishes, and I can't just do dishes. I have to unload the dishwasher and put the clean dishes away. And then I can put the dishes in the sink in the dishwasher. And then maybe I can clean the pots and pans by hand or whatever the fuck you need to do, right? And then maybe you're going to be like, I'm going to do this shit for like, I'm going to set a timer for an hour so I know how long I've taken to do these things. And it just checks back in with you to be like, oh, an hour passed. Okay, yeah, because sometimes you're doing shit too, and then you're like doing a task, and then you're doing the task really, you're slowing down, and you're like, and you're somewhere else. And then suddenly a task that would have taken like 15 minutes took like 45, right? And it's like having something that's just a timer. It's not that I need to get it done within that time. It's, oh, an hour has already passed, and you have some sense of scale. I heard doing something first thing in the morning will keep you from distractions. Yeah, I think getting up and just not looking at your phone can help, but I look at my phone when I wake up. I'm like, Pokemon sleep, wee, you know, and I'm doing stuff and feeding biscuits and yeah, just big standing emoji. But even like after that, it's nice to just like, if you just get up and there are no other little distractions and you can just go, that can help, but even just telling yourself that you're just gonna do a small piece of it, and then it tricks you into doing the whole thing. Yeah, that happens all the fucking time, where I'd be like, I'm just gonna wash this one dish, and then I end up kind of doing all of them, because it's like, oh, well, that was easy. I could do another one. You know, and it's like, you just need to give yourself that start and stop. You need to give yourself the we are starting now, already knowing where the end point is, even if it's just in a matter of time, right? You're like, I'm just going to do the dishes for an hour, and I doubt you're gonna have to take an hour to do the dishes, but you know that you're going to stop, right? And that, I think, helps a lot. It just puts anything into context, into a sense of scale, and you know that, like, okay, well, I don't have to finish it, I just have to get to that end point. And then suddenly, hey, you probably finished it before you even got there, but like I said, like, I went in when I was going to write, and I was like, I'll give myself an hour, and I'll just write whatever, and just see how far I get. And then I wrote the whole fucking thing. And it was that easy. And then I was like, only an hour passed, and I wrote all of it? Like, it's just there to, like, help you keep things in check a little bit. You don't have to finish by then. It's just giving you a sense of time and a point where you can stop. I think it really is the OMG, this will never be over that makes it hard to, so you need an endpoint. Yeah, and if you just give yourself that endpoint, even if it's just like, I will do this and I will stop at like 3. And have an alarm, because you will just keep going. It will hit 3 and you'll either keep going or you won't have done anything. Like, you need something that chimes back in for you. You know what I mean? Boring things take 1 billion years. It's been 10 seconds. 1 billion years. Yeah. It is always nice, though, when you do something that feels like it took forever and it was like 20 minutes, and I'm like, wow, really? Oh my god. No way. So, I don't know. It's just like, there are some things I do know that works when it's like little tasks where it's like, I have to make an appointment. I have to do some other benign thing. It's like different when it's like, I have to make art, I have to make a commission, I have to whatever, and I get left too much to my own devices. And then I don't, and I'm just fucking like living in this fucking, everything's like cotton ass, like this, everything's muffled, and I'm like, you know, for like 3 hours. Like, it's so annoying. But it's like different when there's something that's like immediate little tasks, and it's like, if I remember, I'm like, no, I'm doing this right now before I forget. Like, I have to like be like, I was not good about taking some of like my medication. I wouldn't say, it's just, Not like it was like, oh, I'm being a bad boy, I'm not taking my meds. It's just like, it's like birth control or whatever, right? And I was just like not actually taking it day to day because I would forget every single time. I would like remember, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta take it when I get up. But then I would like get on my phone and do whatever, and then I would like feel a tummy ache, and then I would get up, you know, and then I would go and like wash my face and do whatever and stuff, and then I'd be like, oh, I'll take this in a second. No, stop. And like now I'm doing it every day because it's like anytime I like wake up, and then if I remember, like think about it right then, I do it immediately. Even if I usually like, I'll get up, I'll go to the bathroom or whatever, and then like rinse my face, and then I'll go out and get my water, and then I'll take it. But if I happen to think about it at any point, I just stop what I'm doing, and I'm like, nope, I'm doing this right now while the thought is active, and I have to go do it, and I've done it. Hooray! And there's like a lot of little things where it's just like the second it enters the brain, I'm like, no, I'm doing it right now. I have to do this right this second, or it's not going to fucking happen. Even if maybe it would happen later, I'm not going to run the risk because 90% of the time it's not happening later. I have to do it the second it enters my brain. You cannot give yourself that like leniency. There's no, you know, giving yourself too much room to work. You know, it's like giving you too much rope and you hang yourself with it kind of a thing. And it's just like, I just have to do it right fucking then, no matter what. And I can't rely on myself to just remember to do it later. It's not gonna happen. That is also the devil talking. It's true. You should write things down. I've had like art ideas where I worked out a script in my head and I didn't want to write it down on my phone because I was kind of doing something. I was like out and about and I just didn't want to do it at the time. And then later when I tried to remember, I couldn't remember what the fuck any of it was. I remember I had really worked out some like nice lines and I still don't remember. I just remember that I forgot. Super cool. And so it's like, you should just write things down. Do not trust yourself. Just write it down. Have like outside of you alarms to tell you what fucking time it is. And no, you can't work with all of your chats and things open. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. It don't work. Just shut them for an hour. It's only an hour. It's only an hour. Don't forget. People are busy in an hour. People are eating. People are showering, you know? People are at the jobs. It's just an hour. Always remember, it's just an hour. Everything shuts down. Do task. Also, if you have medication, take it. Take that bitch, please. Falling out of the habit, I need to get back into it, but I have found assigning random long-term projects to a number and then rolling a dice to pick one on one of my free days to work sometimes. That's very interesting, actually. I kind of like that. Funnily, I have on my Stream Deck, I have a little dice that goes 1 to 6, and I can roll it. I think. Come on, roll. It'll do it when it wants, I guess. It's having a bit of an issue. Anyway. Nope. Very cool. I think my my Stream Deck's having a little bit of an ish. So, anyway, that's actually kind of nice. Like, but even then, it's like, obviously you would have to have, like, days planned where you're like, this is a free day. You know this ahead of time, and then you're going to, you know, this one, I'm working on this project today, which I think is a good thing. But at that point, for a lot of people, you have to already know that free day is coming up. And every day for me feels like it's not like a free day. It's a something needs to get done. What is it? And then I go, oh God, I should work on that today. And then it's always this constant battle of like trying to go, oh, that shit I gotta get done that's still not done. I guess I'll go do that. And then I sit there fucking pulling my own teeth out of my head for 2 hours while it's sitting open in front of me. Like, set it up like your dailies. And I do my dailies every day. Like, I have little task things that I actually can do every day that I've like established for myself. But it is really hard. Like, again, it's always the balancing. It's the rocking cart with all the shit on the table. And, like, some things are pretty solidly on there. But for the most part, it's, like, a constant battle of trying to keep all these little things, you know, on the table and in check. All the little organizational things that make me function. And sometimes something falls down. You're like, okay, that's fine for now. I don't need to grab that. And then you forget it's down there. And the whole time you're like, I could have been using that stupid bottle to magically keep myself on task. I could have been writing this shit down. God damn it. Yeah, you definitely have to know when your free days are. Yeah, which is true. Which is a little different for, you know, sometimes people just, like, they're working a regular job, so you have days off, and you can kind of plan around that, right? But, like, I am, like, a work from home type situation, and so every day is me being my own bad boss. Which is so silly because, like, I actually can help manage other people pretty well. Like, that's not difficult. And I can be like, oh yeah, here, let me help you break down this task to do stuff. Because I know that it's something that works for me. It's difficult to apply it to yourself for no other reason other than I've got the bad brain disease, right? But when it's something else apart from me, I'm like, all right, we're gonna break this shit down, okay? We're gonna write this down. You should work on this thing first, work on this part, and then get back to me. And then we're gonna, you know, managing stuff is like a totally different set of, like, tasks, and I can do that, no problem, but, like, the other part, me, different. It helps to do everything from your phone. It depends for me. Like, it depends because it's like writing shit is easier on a keyboard than on my phone. Not that writing is hard on the phone, it's just like, it's faster on my keyboard. It depends on the task, I suppose, but I don't know. Anyway, that's a very long, subset here of, subset, I guess. That's not what I want to say. Tangent, I suppose, but I knew I was going on this. Me complaining, because I so badly have projects and things that I want to do and have wanted to do for years at this point, that haven't come to fruition for one reason or another. And I say that, and a lot of that's just, me struggling to get things done in general in an organized fashion. I get things done, but it's all over the place. So, you know, it's kind of hard. It's hard balancing all the stuff and the active everything else and the day-to-day, because life doesn't exist in a vacuum, and so, you know, sometimes things happen. Like sitting in the ER for 6 hours on Halloween. Very fun, that one. Which did happen. Everything's fine. Nobody's hurt. Nobody was even hurt when we went in. We needed an emergency scan, and then nothing was wrong. So we're good, but it was still 6 hours in the ER on Halloween, and we got to miss all the trick-or-treaters and all that fun stuff. Anyway, life happens. It comes at you fast, and sometimes you can't plan around that, and I can't plan around things when nothing's happening. In the first, like, I can't plan shit when there's no obstacle, so, you know, good luck when things are happening. You know how it is, right? Anyway. Any and all outside pressure, demand, inquiry. Well, it's a little bit of a fire under my ass, and it helps. So I do appreciate it. Please don't think you're being annoying. Do that. Shame me in the town square if you must. I'll get to it, okay? It'll help. I need the cheering like a snail in the snail race. I'm glad people are okay. I'm glad it sucks that you can do stuff. Yeah, at least it got taken care of. Like, we had people at the house. People were handing out candy because otherwise we were going to be stuck with loads and loads of bags of candy. But it got all handed out. It's fine. I just like it. I like doing we usually do it all up. We set everything up, make our front porch look like a little potion shop. You know, it's fun. I wanted to do that. We didn't get to do that. So that was kind of a bummer. But I did get to watch Casper, the fetish film 1995 on the hospital television. Riddled with commercials. Just absolutely loaded with commercials for so long. How does anybody watch TV anymore? I don't understand it. Like, it's so bad. Also, yes, Casper 1995 is absolutely a wild ass. The fetish, what? The fetish film. Casper 1995. Watch it again as an adult and you will see that shit be wilding. Like, this is absolutely 100% a freak film in a great way. It's a fun, I say freak in a very endearing way. It's such a visceral movie. I don't know how else to explain it. There's so much shit in there that just sticks in your brain forever, but it is obviously very much so. You watch this and you're like, this is weird shit going on. This is absolutely like the starter for so many people developing like weird, and I say, okay, weird, that sounds too judgmental. People be developing specific fetishes. Let's just put it that way. But it's like, you just watch it and you're just like, this is a freak film. Like, totally Spies. Exactly, you understand. Like, camp. I guess. I mean, there's some, like, fun goof stuff in there. I actually really like the physical sets of that movie. But, like, it's just a weirdo film. That's all. It's a weirdo fucking film. And we were watching it in the hospital and we were like, yep. Nope. Casper, 1995. Fetish film. Freak movie. That's it. That's all. So we did get to do that, which is pretty funny, but it is still absolutely nearly unwatchable with how many fucking commercials there were. Like, because it was so frequent, and then they would last forever. For fucking ever. And people pay for that. You're paying for cable. And then they just inundate you with ads. And sometimes they played the same ad twice. Because they, didn't have enough to put in their incredibly extensive commercial runtime? I don't know. Who's in charge of this? Just weird. Anyway. The Life Comes at You Fast. Casper freak film. Difficult. Make me do things. Check in with me. Bombard me. Throw eggs at my house. You know? Do whatever it takes to get me to make things for you. Not many people use cable anymore, probably, so they don't really care, maybe. I mean, but people still do. And they still offer the services. You know what I mean? And most of the time, it's like older folks. You know, people are just, they're used to it. It's cable, you know, we've always had cable. They're not gonna go watching essentially TV-ass quality, like, shit on YouTube for free. They just want their channels to work. And, like, I get that. I do understand just having, like, look, you pay for a service, it gives you television, I just want to watch it, you know? It's bad. Niku, make this a Riku podcast. Yes, actually. Yeah, I need to, talk to Tennille about that. Honestly, like, finally, as things kind of freed up schedule-wise, Baldur's Gate 3 happened, and so Tennille and I were both very busy playing Baldur's Gate, so people like familiarity. They do. Though I will posit, in some cases, it's just a matter of just like, hey, can this thing, like, not needlessly change when it functioned totally fine before? I'm not saying that you can't improve things, but sometimes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes, things work perfectly well as they were, and when you change it, it's really needless and fucking annoying. And I understand you want to pay for television and just have the TV work. I get it. You know, I think people should be able to have cable if they want, I guess, but it's just become so abysmal. You know what I mean? It was something that was kind of, it was like all we had, and now we have so many options and like streaming services and stuff. And granted, a lot of people use a lot of those streaming services, even though they are paying for cable and stuff. So people like the control of being able to choose what you want to watch. But I don't know. It's like, I couldn't blame Grandpa for just being like, I just want to watch this channel, you know? And I'm like, you should be able to, Grandpa. You should be able to get your fucking channel that you want. YouTube trying to break uBlock. Good fucking luck. Get Firefox. Just use fucking Firefox. Please. You can take screenshots of streaming services. You can record streaming services if you have Firefox. You can stream them. You can share your screen on Discord if you have Firefox. Good. But this is to everybody who isn't using it. You can port all of your settings, your bookmarks from Chrome to Firefox very easily. It's built in. You can do that. There's no reason you have to be using Chrome, okay? Firefox now since last time you said it's nice. Good. I'm glad. I've been using Firefox since a long time. A very long time. It's basically been like the primary one I have been using. I remember when Chrome was a new thing, and I was using Firefox before then. So, a very long time. Anyway. I definitely recommend it. That's all. If you haven't made the switch, do it. There's no reason not to, and fuck Google anyway, so. Anyway. Yeah, Surigu podcast. Yeah. I should do that. I should make video talking about Kingdom Hearts. I'm really looking at some colors right now. Maybe if I turn this shit off, hold on. Sit in the dark, maybe. I need more lights in here. The lighting in this room is pretty bad. It's like big, and there's not... Okay, I look less like a fucking weirdo blueberry, so... Kingdom Hearts. Xehanort's Heartless. Yeah, I would like to do that. Make the videos and explain things for people so they actually understand what's going on. I also wanted to... I was like, should I write this? Or should I make a video about it? Where I, like, very specifically wanted to make something to just talk about how, like, Kingdom Hearts' reputation of being, like, so confusing and I don't understand is honestly kind of super horseshit. And people be playing Metal Gear Solid and not in any way lauding anybody for going like, what the fuck's going on in that game, right? And I'm like, it's the same. It's even more convoluted and confusing because it's like politics. It's like real world fantasy politics. And people be like, yeah, this shit's great. And it is. It's a good time. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that, like, look, you either call the game a baby game for babies so it can't be that deep, or it's so complicated and confusing, I don't understand. This is stupid. And it's like, I'm sorry, either you can't be both. It can't be both. Kojima and Nomura, yeah, same. I think there's like a lot of overlap in like they're making two very different products, but also at their cores, there's a lot that's very much the same. And it's something where it's just like, I think a lot of the confusion born of Kingdom Hearts very specifically was because just a lot of these titles got released on a lot of different consoles, and so people would get confused when they would pick up one and not the other, and then not know what the fuck's going on. Even though most every title was more or less standalone, you could just follow through, and a lot of people coming in on Chain of Memories or 358 or even Birth by Sleep would go, actually, maybe I don't know this, or this, but like this is super interesting and I want to know more. And then that's how they got into the series. Like, it's not so impossible to understand, but like, I feel like it's just the time that it was coming out. It came out on a bunch of different kind of consoles within a relatively short amount of time. And so people would just like lose track of things and kind of write it off and be like, I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know is there one I'm missing? And like the internet was just a lot less organized. You didn't have the same sort of stream of like news that you do in the way we do now. You know, like we get like all of our fucking news and announcements from like Twitter primarily. Like literally all of these missing link announcements and things from Nomura come from Twitter. Like nowhere else. That's the main avenue we've been receiving news for years now. And it's one fucking place, you know what I mean? We're not just being like, oh, did you hear the news at E3? And then you read about it on, like, Polygon or something? Like, it's everything is kind of in one place, you know? My first game was recoded and I still interested. KH3, learned about the story pretty quickly. I don't think it's that hard. I don't mind KH being on different consoles. A new KH came out and I can't play it. Time for YouTube, and that was KH2 era. We are past Playground Rumors era. Yeah, exactly. And so that's something that was like, you know, and I've said this thousands of times before, that I was that person that was just like, what is going on with Kingdom Hearts? You know, like, I really feel like I thought KH1 looked really cool. I thought some stuff in KH2 looked really cool. You know, I still liked some things from afar about it. But I was just like, it seems like it's gone off the rails. Like, it didn't know when to quit. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And everybody says it's, like, confusing and stupid. And I was just like, I want to see for myself. Let's fucking go. Let's just go in. And then I was, like, pissed at how stupid it was people were saying that. I was like, this is so easy to follow. Like, there's stuff and details that I'm like, I don't know what this is, or, like, things I missed because I was just fucking like a train, just through all of them at once, right? So there were, like, things missed, and then going back through stuff, I was like, oh, okay, actually, this is way more clear than my first impression. And even then, I was like, this isn't anywhere as confusing as people said. I remember tweeting about it. I'm pretty sure my tweet's still out there. I was just like, it's not, like, complicated. It is a little convoluted, though, because there's just a lot of little you know, and not even, like, that sounds more negative than I mean it. It's just, like, there's a lot of moving pieces and shit. There's just things to kind of keep track of, but, like, as you go one by one through the series, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty just right there. And, like, most any and every series, if you get into, like, the nitty-gritty of it, there's gonna be a whole bunch of shit that, like, you probably don't know about that some turbo nerd fan is gonna know. And, like, you probably don't need to know it to comprehend what's going on. It's okay, you know? But, like, it's something where it's just, like, it has gained such a reputation that's, like, it's just so, like, y'all are still saying this? Like, you are still riding this train of, like, the Mickey Mouse game is so too confusing for you to understand? You can't pick up on this simple concept of, like, somebody's heart and body being separated? Like, I say this, and that's not even an exaggeration. I was seeing some kind of summary video, the bane of my existence, summary videos. That's why I need to fix it. That someone was like, oh yeah, explaining it, and they're like, and then a heart, and it's separate, and then they're like, and here's a nobody. Stop me if you're getting confused. Like, I know it's really hard to keep track of now, but blah blah blah. And it wasn't even like they were making a joke about that. Like, the whole tone of it was just like, oh man, will they ever quit? And it's like, you can't follow along? Like, to each their own, but to say that, like, this is where you draw the line? Dude, I'm sorry. That's sad. Like, it's just not that confusing. It really isn't. It's pretty simple fucking concepts. The shit is based on, like established within, and then grows from there into something of more of a working universe of a lot of different details and stuff, sure, but, like, a lot of this is, like, fairy tale shit. Dude, it's not that hard to figure out. Let me see what you guys have been saying. I have to, like, go on a whole tangent, and then I have to, like, come back and see. Yeah, back in the day it was way harder to get into. KH is a lot to dig into, but if you're just going through it, it's not nearly as bad. Yeah, it's, like, not even close to, like, the big kerfuffle people be making about it. I remember going and expecting something like Pop Tropica. It's only when you try and condense it down into talking points that it feels confusing because it misses too much context. I think that's really important, and that was something also with the videos that I wanted to stress, was like, look, I am collecting this information together, explaining one game at a time. That is more of a, let's make sure, like, a lot of these details and pieces of information are kind of everywhere in interviews and other things that have not come out officially in English, things that are beneficial to actually know, to understand some greater, larger implications of the story. But this is not a substitute for playing the game yourself. A lot of this stuff is just going to stick better if you just actually play the game. You want to play the game and then maybe watch this video. And then you go, oh, okay, all right, this is clicking, this is making sense to me. Like that thing, I forgot about that, you know, just stuff like that. But it's like, these should not be a replacement for simply playing through the game yourself, okay? I'm not going to try and condense this because, like, if you were to condense everything that happened in fucking Naruto, guess what? It's gonna sound confusing and stupid as fuck, okay? That's just what happens when a story goes for a really long time. And it's not even that it's, like, bad. It just grows and builds on itself, okay? And some things later only really make sense in the context of, guess what? Everything happening before it in the story. So when you're trying to work backwards and explain some convoluted, more extrapolated part of the story, yeah, it's gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's true for anything. It's true for every single one. And so that's something that's like very specifically, anyway, that's something specifically when I was like, I want to make these explanations, I just want to collect all of the pertinent information per title into a video and be like, here's a very general summary of like, you know, it's like you, assuming you have probably played the game, we are going on the working knowledge here a little bit. It's like, here's the basic rundown of the plot. And then here are important things in the journal that you need to know. Here's stuff, the interviews, things that Nomura has said, important factoids that are just important to know moving forward. Because people play the game and they miss Ansem's reports, you know, people play the game and they miss journal entries that actually explain stuff. Nobody reads any of the interviews to have things where Nomura literally answers it, like, just straight out, you know, stuff like that, where it's just like, it just gets lost in the mix. It's been going on a long time, so we're gonna put this all in one place. This is not a substitute. Please play the game. The only thing that tripped me up was the Worldline stuff at first, because I was like, oh, okay, doesn't get it at all. See, and that's one where it's like, this is a concept that has existed in like sci-fi and other things before, but it's still like a relatively complex idea, because if you were to tell someone like an alternate timeline, that's an easy enough concept to grasp. Worldline is still like an alternate timeline, but like kind of different. Like there's just slightly different rules to that. And so it was a lot of like me trying to, like me writing this shit, trying to explain it to people to be like, look, it's like a train, okay? It's like a train set on the tracks. Everything is predetermined, but if we go to a different set of tracks, it's not predetermined in the same way, but still predetermined. You know, we just have to go on a different set of tracks. Please. I want the Niku video collection. I can show people when they don't quite get something funky that I know has answers, may or may not have the sources for on hand, because there are so many. Yeah, there are so many. There's so much stuff that I'm like, I know and I've read it somewhere and I don't fucking remember, and then I have to like go and try and fucking dig it up, and it's so exhausting. And so it's like, I, even for my own sake, would be like, I would love to be like, hey, and here's all this sourced, you know. there it is. Miss Lauder, are you planning on making a series of videos to explain Kingdom Hearts? Yes, that's been, like, I want to make videos and just discuss things anyway, but that's been my, like, first order of business, is I want to do that. Because I hate every summary video that's out there. They are all bad for different reasons. Either they're mocking the source material for no reason, and so it makes it unfun, and it also paints it in a way for people who maybe they just want to know. You know, maybe they're like, what is Kingdom Hearts about? And then they watch it, and then the whole thing is like summarizing it, but it's like, duh, 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 like the whole time. And you're like, and then they come out of it, and they're like, yeah, why did I ever want to care about that? And it's just like, why be so mean-spirited in the first place? Also, when it's not that fucking stupid or difficult, like it's fine. You can just deliver it as is, or you get people who are turbo nerds who, and I don't even mean that in the meanest way at all. I'm a turbo nerd. Look at me. It's fine. But like, you get people who are so deep in the shit, and they are also not good at talking or explaining it or know how to condense anything they're trying to explain. And so then it's just like fucking like it just slides off of your brain. You know, it's like the driest shit possible, and they're like explaining it in a way that kind of has too much of the assumption of working knowledge and not somebody who doesn't know what the fuck's going on and how it would make the most sense. When people try to explain shit chronologically, death knell. There's no way anybody's going to fucking actually comprehend the story of Kingdom Hearts if you start with cucks. Stop doing that. That's a bad idea. Just start with KH1. Just start with Kingdom Hearts. There's a boy. He gets a key. He goes on basically a hero's journey. Very standard kind of, you know, kind of thing. But there's a lot of like, there's more nuance and like care and a lot of heart to like the characters and the delivery, and you can tell how much just by playing the fucking game. You go in and you think this is gonna be stupid, and then it's actually wonderful. It's such a wonderful time, and it's gonna get your ass before you even realize. And it's just like, just start there. Just start there. Everything else is working off of the knowledge of everything that came before it, including the prequel cucks. Okay? You can start anywhere for sure, but if you're gonna actually try and explain something to somebody, don't start there. Don't try to tell it chronologically. It's just not gonna, it doesn't work that way. I'm so tired of summary videos that mock the source material. I'm here to have fun because of this thing. I'm tired. I just want to like, no, sometimes you gotta get a refresher. But it's just like, it's just such a cheap fucking joke. It's so, come on, you can do better than that, okay? You can make jokes about something while loving the thing, but so often is it's just like, it's just a cheap shot to be like, it's stupid and dumb and the power of friendship, and I'm like, okay. Okay. Anyway. Really just driving me nuts. Sometimes I would watch some new summary video I found, which have honestly fallen off quite a bit because mostly people were making them before Kingdom Hearts 3 because people wanted to catch up with Kingdom Hearts 3. And I would watch them to make myself super pissed off that I would start writing. So anyway, they drive me insane. I don't like them. I'm roughing Nico up to write these scripts. Yeah, you are. I honestly can't think of a series that's better experienced in any order other than by release. Yeah. Oh, I tried to get into KH on a nostalgia wave because I played KH1 a few years back. Not this recent one. And I started with Birth by Sleep, and it was Ventus' story, and it was so fucking... Here's another thing about Birth by Sleep. And it's something I'll have to explain in the video, just for clarity. Is that the game wants you to play Terra first, then Ventus, and then Aqua, and a lot of information on what the fuck is going on is very dependent on you playing it in that order. Yeah, you can piece it together, but it makes... When you're just confused going through other storylines and stuff before having the foundational knowledge of understanding what's going on, the confusion makes it harder to remember the shit you already played. So going through Ventus' stuff and just being confused, and then going through Terra's stuff, because that's how I did it, was like, oh, that's what's happening. Okay. All right, now I understand, but then it was like, what the fuck was Ventus doing this whole time? And like, it's just... It's not that you can't use confusion as a story element, because that's part of mystery, right? There's going to be stuff that you're like, what is that? And it wants, you know, there are things that prompt you to think, and then sometimes there's just kind of a failure in execution. And having something be like, I'm confused and I don't understand like the whole time, is just going to make it more difficult to remember or have any impact. Because most of it is just like you trying to wrap your head around whatever's going on in front of you and not actually absorbing anything like coherent, right? Not that it's that bad, but just as a discussion generally, like you're not going to remember it as well if you're strictly confused. But if you play Terra's route first, it lays a lot of the foundational knowledge of what's going on, which obviously would make some sense that like Terra is privy to just in his own story. But like there is stuff that like literally later on, if you were to play like Ventus' stuff first, like you do not learn what the unversed are called. And then suddenly the game is like, fight the unversed. And you're like, that's how we learn? Like, here... And it's just going on this, like, oh, well, yeah, you probably wouldn't have thought about it because you learned what they were in the other route. But they let you choose any fucking route instead of actually, like, making it so each route is, like, its own standalone. They're kind of interdependent, but then they don't make them that way. Which is one of my bigger gripes with that game, is that, like, I think it was very ambitious, and I think they could have had cool stuff going on, but the execution in that game is... It's messy. It's a messy game. I'm scared to play BBS because I have to play 3 times. That part is also not very fun for me. That sucks. You're gonna be naturally drawn to Ven first too, because like he already looks like it exists. Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to. I was like, well, what's up with this Roxas looking kid? I want to know what's going on with him. And then I was like, what is going on? Like, why are we worried about Terra leaving? Why is he chasing after him so desperately? Like, sure, yeah, but I was just like, what? I feel like there's some larger plot I'm like missing, you know? And I was, so, you know. But I think that's something that's like important to be like, hey, this is like the developers intended, you know, like route basically is to play Terra and then Ventus and then Aqua. And obviously you may or may not have done that, but it can make things more confusing if you do it, quote, out of order. So, we're going to clean some of this stuff up a little bit and just like explain like what the fuck is going on. And that's gonna have to happen then. But, like, it's just something that's... Birth by Sleep is not a game I am looking to play again for a number of fucking reasons. I don't care for it that much. I appreciated more when I played through not that long ago. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. So many other games, I'm like, I would love to play that one again. You know what? I want to dive back into that shit. I'm okay. I can pass with Birth by Sleep. That one really pushes it for me, and sometimes the fights can be so slow. It's really super, super command dependent in a way that's like kind of exhausting and drags fights out. Funnily, Dream Drop is not necessarily one of my favorite games to play. It's still way better than Birth by Sleep, but it's kind of a similar system, but then they actually make your Keyblade do fucking anything, which helps a lot. But it's just like not my favorite one to play, but I love it. I love Dream Drop. But in terms of like games that I just strictly enjoy playing, I think they are fun, they feel good to play. KH1 is like one of the top ones. It feels really good, which is funny because everybody calls it really clunky, but there's something like weighty and solid about it. It never feels like unreliable or frustrating. It's just chunky, and I enjoy it. And I enjoy the platforming. You know, it's not perfect, but like it's absolutely not bad. It's just a good, I like it. It feels satisfying. And I really like playing KH3. KH3 feels good to play. It's fun. KH2 is also really fun to play. I definitely enjoy it a lot more now after I've played through Critical. But it still lacks some of the stuff that I really enjoy about, like, 1. Again, probably the platforming and exploration part of it, but... KH3 is so fun. IDK, why people hate it. I mean, we know why people hate it. For a lot of reasons. And most of that was expectations. And it's a way better game than people give it credit. Because everybody was like, oh my god, I remember Kingdom Hearts when I was 16. KH2. Wow, I was so into the organization. You know, people came back in, and it's like, well, yeah, a lot has happened in between KH2 and 3. And some of it's just a bit too much for people to take on. People kind of wish it was ending itself in some way, you know, it was like wrapping things up and being done. I talked to somebody one time that seemed almost like offended that the series was continuing, like it was still going. And I understood the on one hand, the frustration of what feels like it is a lot, and like I kind of like, for somebody who's not like in it, but they're like, yeah, you know, I've enjoyed Kingdom Hearts and stuff, and feeling like, God, will you please wrap things up? I want a satisfying ending kind of idea. But I also think it's just strange. I get, it's like, personally don't enjoy replaying Birth by Sleep because I don't really like the worlds. Yeah. And I don't necessarily like the worlds enough to play them 3 times in a row either. Anyway, it was just like this idea of just being like, why doesn't it end yet? You know, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I do know. It's just, I was just gonna say, I don't know. It's kind of not like your story to tell. You know what I mean? It's not like for us to decide. And it's also like not something that's just like, and then everything got wrapped up. And we're telling more. It was like we tied some things up while we have really huge other things going on still, you know what I mean? So it's like, well, yeah, I want to see the shit that's happening, but like, it's like, I think it's just like people feel a sense of like entitlement, you know what I mean? Which, the person I'm thinking of, I don't even think they meant or were trying to be mean about it. It was just something that seemed so overwhelming, and it was just like, man, come on, you know? And I was like, I don't know, you should really look into stuff. And I was like explaining things, and they're like, it does sound really cool. And I was like, yeah, I know, it's actually super interesting. You just have to like drop the preconceived notions and just let the story be what it is. You know what I mean? And just let it take you on that ride, and then you'll see that actually it kind of does leave you wanting for more. You want to keep going. I like how in Dream Drop you progress through the worlds at the same time with both characters instead of Birth by Sleep where you have to restart the story each time for each character. It felt more repetitive that way. Yeah. I know people really hate the drop system, and like I get it because like while it never really happened to me in a way that like got in the way of anything, it is annoying to even potentially be mid-boss fight and then drop in the middle of it. And then come back and have to like kind of restart from like a checkpoint type health kind of a thing. That's annoying. As much as it never really happened to me. I think that in itself is probably not the best design choice, but like I do like the idea of like the drop system is just what it is. What the fuck did I just hear? Dude, somebody just hit somebody else's car, like, right in front of my house. Hold on. Because I heard like kind of a crash noise, and I was like, that couldn't have just been like. I mean, everybody seems fine, but it seems like somebody like ran into the back of somebody else's car. Fun. It's like a very small street, like nobody's driving really fast, but I don't know what the fuck was happening there. I don't know. That's their problem. That is not my problem. But it was interesting to hear because this guy's like, you just hit my car. And this lady was like, I did hit your car. You know, it's like, yeah, I guess. Anyway. What the fuck was I talking about before? I don't know. Kingdom Hearts. People feel entitled, I guess, sometimes. People get frustrated. People had a lot of expectations on Kingdom Hearts 3, and there was nothing that game could have done to escape the criticism it got. It's something that is, yeah, I was talking about the drop system. That's right. But on KH3, it's just something that, like, no matter what it did, it was never going to please everybody. That's not to say that it's perfect. I mean, it has things that, like, I don't like about it. I think there are some things that it just didn't execute very well. And that's fine. But, like, it is absolutely not as bad a game as everybody wanted to pretend it was. It was totally fine. It was a fun game to play, and one of the ones I have replayed the most. It's really easy to replay. And also, Remind whipped ass. That was a really good DLC. And then people were, God forbid, they were so upset. Why wasn't this in the, you know, the core game? And it's like, ask them. You want to make a game? Do you want to make the game? Go ahead. Make all of KH3. Have it all stripped away from you, a year's worth of work, and then also try to remake the whole thing in a in an engine that you've never used before. Go on. You know, it's so just like, well, yeah, obviously this is some level of something that they wanted to do that they couldn't. I'm happy we got it in general. It just makes the game better. It just improves the game. It really does. But it's like people being like so offended, you know, and I'm like, oh, shove off. It's not about you. Like, Jesus Christ, your pride about it, you know. It's so stupid. It's just like, are you gonna play the fun game or not? You know, I don't think it really cares if you do. And it came with so much more than just like a game, you know, and they added a lot of content. It was nice. It was a nice bit of DLC. And people were still, like, even upset that it was DLC. And it's, like, true, also, people totally ignoring the history of Final Mix in general. Like, this has kind of always been the case. Where this perfect KH2, and all of these things that you love about it, there are so many key things that weren't in base KH2. This shit got added later. It's just how it happens. It's also just how development happens. It's not a matter of holding back shit that you want to, you know, ooh, let's charge him again later. It's mostly just like, we did not have time. Now we have time. Do you want it to exist or not? Like, I'm happy it's here. I'm happy we got everybody fighting in the sky. I'm happy we got Mickey Mouse Metal Gear Solid Hallway. You know, I'm happy we got all of the data battles and all of the sick fucking remixes that we got with it. And then we also got Yozora, like... Anyway. It's not new to KH, and now you don't even have to replay the game. It's true. It's true. We got the picture making mods where people, a bunch of, yeah, modes. Yeah, we got photo mode also, you know, for fun. Just got a bunch of fun stuff. Like, we just got, like, something that, like, made the game feel better. It's nice, you know, you get to run around Scala at Kylum. It's good. It's a fun time. I don't know. And then they also included, you could get the, like, the concert videos with it. Thanks. I appreciate it. That's really nice. People just don't understand what Remind was doing as well. They're upset that it repeated the ending. Look at the name. What is... See, look, you can do anything and nobody's gonna be happy. It doesn't matter. Just do the thing you want to. Do the shit you gotta, you know. That simple. just do what you're doing. People are gonna find a way to complain about it, no matter what. Just like Nomura, don't listen. Don't listen to them, okay? You don't have to listen to the people who complained about the reaction shit in KH2 because it was good and it was fun. But people were like, wah, it's 2007 and I think this is so stupid and easy. Everybody fucking loves those things. And then we get to KH3 and everyone's like, well, where are the reaction commands? I liked that, you know? And then Nomura's like, I thought you hated that shit. Okay, I'll bring it back in KH4 then, you know? And it's just like, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about, okay? If it works, it works. Just fucking keep going. I'm not saying you can't listen to criticism, but we're coming back to it. Fans are the worst. They don't know what they want. don't fucking listen to them, okay? Never listen to the fan base, especially if it's been less than 10 years. I doubt Nomura was listening, and if he did, he goes, it's spy. I mean, he literally said in an interview about the KH4 trailer, they were like, well, what's this, you know, this kind of, you have like this, it's like a reaction command, basically, you know, it's just like, here's the crown, and it goes, you know, and you do a thing. And he was like, yeah, you know, we're bringing that back, because it's just like, people were upset about it in KH2, and so we took it out, and then KH3 comes out, and everybody was asking where it was. So, like, make up your mind. So I'm putting it back in. And I was like, why did you listen to them? People were out here being like, boo, KH2 is bad, and it sucks. Who's Roxas? This stinks. And then it's literally like the series darling. Everybody loves it. It's like, it's the perfect, it's the peak. Everything after KH2 is bad. It's like, don't listen to people. Do not listen to them. They are reactionary, okay? They're going on gut hunches, and they don't remember half of what they just saw. Don't listen to those people. Listen to people who have maybe played the game once or twice. I would say twice. Give it twice. You know, they've revisited it at least once. Okay. And they're here to just be like, you know, given some kind of, like, you just don't, okay, don't listen to them, like, again, the 10-year period. Give it, like, 5 or so years. Let that shit simmer, because I'm telling you, like, this decade will pass. Okay, it's gonna be fucking 2029 or whatever, and then people can be like, KH3? That shit was actually good. You know, and then we're gonna have all these fucking video essays talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't actually as bad as you thought it was, Half the people who were so pissed off at KH3 are either going to be holding on to old shit that isn't true anymore, or they don't even remember most of the shit they were mad about. It's what happens. It's just what happens. People just have knee-jerk reactions, and I'm just telling everybody who's listening, listen to me. It's, again, it's that separating your biases and your expectations from what the story is trying to deliver to you. This is the same, okay? Fight the knee-jerk reaction. Put a pin in it, okay? Hold it off and just wait and see. Because sometimes, actually, like 78% of the time, let's say, you go through, and this thing you don't like how they did is because you did not catch a setup earlier, okay? And it was all there entirely, actually, and you just missed it, because we're just human. We're just little fucking dudes on the planet doing our best, watching a fucking video game. Like, I can't remember to do day-to-day shit. I forgot what they just did 10 minutes ago. You know what I mean? And so then this other thing happens, and then I go, where the fuck did that go? I think that's kind of stupid. That feels rushed. And then you watch it again, and actually, it was like half an hour, and the setup was really clear, and they paced it out well, and you were just being stupid. You know, it's all the time with this shit. So just give things a second chance, you know? Acknowledge when you have that kind of knee-jerk, that gut reaction of like, ugh, and then just tuck it in a little blanket and set it aside. Just revisit it. And then you'll be like, what the fuck was I upset about? Please, I'm begging you. We already have videos defending KH3. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different, okay? In like 5 years from now. People are going to be like reflective, and they're gonna be like, and they're like, yeah, you know what? This whole time, everybody was so wrong about it. You know, it's not like trying to play to the audience that right now thinks it's so bad because they're still fuming about it. It's just the like, we were so wrong this whole time kind of reflection. It's different, okay? I have a better idea of how KH is written now, so I don't have any big issues with it. That bias is just that bias. Sure, it might be onto something, but it cannot be trusted implicitly. Very true. I think the issue is that people don't like let themselves sit with thoughts. There are times I don't like certain things, but then I think about it and I realize that I actually like it. Yeah, I've had that happen plenty of times. Like, there are plenty of things where, like, when I first saw it or whatever, I was like, I think that's kind of stupid. And then when I sat about it, I was like, I'm stupid. Never mind. I think this is actually really cool. You know who and that's just kind of separate. I'm just reminded. I remember seeing Final Fantasy 15 stuff, and I thought Ignis looked the stupidest. How wrong I was. I just thought he looked kind of like, I didn't fucking see the appeal at the time. And then actually just kind of going through the game, and then I was like, oh, actually, Ignis is like the best. He's the best one. I was wrong, you know? You just can't trust those like gut reactions kind of a thing. That's why you just gotta experience things for yourself. You know, you gotta go just give that thing the time and just see how you feel about it, which is part of why I wanted to go actually through Kingdom Hearts in the first place, because I was like, let's just finally see what this is all about. I'm gonna develop my own opinion on this. And then I was like, oops, I'm here forever. Uh-oh, and here I am now. So, you know, it was pretty effective, I would say, but yeah. And people don't like change / new thing, even though they ask for it as well. That's also true. It's true. There's just so many things that, like, as history looks back on it, that you're like, actually, this shit whipped ass the whole time, and everybody just didn't know what to do with it at the time. You know what I mean? Like, this thing wasn't, like, standard at the time. I watched a good video talking about the original 3 Pirates movies, and talking about how, like, people did not like At World's End. Like, the first movie is like, wow, this is great. The second movie, wow, I don't know. And then people didn't like the third movie because they were like, this is, a lot of the complaints at the time were like, this is so confusing to try and keep track of over all these movies. There's a lot of, like, little moving pieces and parts and stuff. And upon reflection, it was like, oh, this is shit that's so easy for us now. It's, like, so standard. You know, people be out here watching, like, fucking Marvel, Avengers Endgame bullshit and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally following along things between all of these different movies and yada yada, and it's fine. But, like, things have changed, you know what I mean? Sometimes things are kind of ahead of its time, even though I wouldn't say that that was specifically ahead of its time, but it was just something that, like, was too much for people at the time, and now it seems kind of comically, it's so easy, you know, it's just a fun set of movies. Is that Riku? Coming in so gentle? Oh my god. Is this Riku's part? Where it's him and Sora? Side comment. Psychonauts just never ended up working on my laptop and I got pissed and uninstalled it. Gonna get it on one of the consoles. That's fair. What was I saying? Oh, I lost it. Uh-oh. This contest, I didn't listen to this track before? Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up for you, okay? I'm gonna pull it up. How is that Kingdom Hearts? Am I fucking... Gotta go over here. Pirates wasn't that complicated compared to Marvel now. It's true. It's true. And the thing is, this is all something that, like, people take for standard. They understand now. And so it's like, you go back, and you're like, oh, these are actually really good movies, like, all together. That people at the time were like, ugh. Baby. Hi. Come here. Come here, little baby boy. No, come here. Come here to me. Oh. Wow. Oh, my baby boy. Okay. Go over here. Oop, that's not what I want. Look at that. There we go. So what you were listening to was the credits for Melody of Memory. bye. Or not. That's my face. Oh, okay. Na, 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 na. He's like hitting the mic with his tail. Baby, come on. Come on, pal. Come on, bud. Wanna look out the window? One little thing I really like about this is that it is like a revisit to the ending, like, credits music for KH1. I know. The way the music changes every time when it's just like... It's such a fun rendition, and then like, everybody gets to show, except for Kyrie, but everybody gets to show up. And like, I feel like they pick very good like musical cues to bring everybody in. Like, it's very like thought out. It feels right. You know what I mean? And then Donald and Goofy fall away. I love, like, it's such a, like, triumphant music for Roxas. He's finally here, you know? Oh, I'm covering up Shion just a little bit. I'm making myself smaller so I don't get in the way. But then they do such a great little thing here. Well, bringing them in. And I love this. I love this. We get a little special time with Aqua and Mickey before Aqua gently falls away. You know, and then, but what's this? What's Riku's cue? Oh my god. Is that Riku? And then it's just Dearly Beloved playing with Sora, Riku, and their Dream Eaters. So gentle and nice. then everybody's here. Anyway, so now you know. That's the context. That the softest little, like, audio cue and the most gentle part of the song is where they chose to have just Sora and Riku, dearly beloved, just playing with the two of them flying around. And so that's why every time it plays and I hear and it comes up and I'm like, who is that? And then it's like the little gentle doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and I'm like, oh my god. No fucking way. Is that Riku? Okay, but is this the one with the credits on it? Because I have a creditless version that looks a lot better, so don't look at my files. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this shit up. Unless it won't show. I hope it shows. That's why we hadn't watched it in a while, because it was, like, not fucking working. Please work. Oh, thank Christ. Oh, we're in it now, boys. Oh, buddy. Don't get out of here. Every time I do this, you tell me, and then you said it's already installed, and fucking whatever. One of those moments where I was like, they aren't fucking around, are they? Is the, like, seeing this intro, and it's just like, oh, the game that's about the two of them, and then it shows two shooting stars go by in the sky, and you're like, oh, so that's them. They're two shooting stars. This is what you're showing me, is that they are two shooting stars together in this beautiful night sky. I don't know how else I'm supposed to take that. So, anyway. There they go. I'm just gonna sit in the way of my little cameras here. It's been a little bit. It's so magical. It drives me insane. Yeah, when I first saw this, I also, like, teared up really hard. Like, this is so cute. Whole storybook. fucking shot, this transition. Fuck! Oh my god. And that shot being a reference to the little video at the start of KH1. There they go. Oh, there it goes again. Woohoo! Oh, what's that? 2 shooting stars in the sky? No way! That's crazy. Anyway, there you go. It's also totally creditless, so it's the best you're gonna get. Real quick, just real quick. So gentle. The timestamp? No, I just kind of remember generally where it is in the song. Yeah, Mickey leaving room for dearly beloved. Anyway. And there you have it. Kingdom fucking Hearts. Claude, you came in literally right after. We just watched the Dream Drop intro. We had just watched the fucking Melody of Memory credits. Like, you came in literally, like, right as I fucking switched over. I mean, the gay never goes away. But that said, yeah, you came in right after we fucking finished watching it, so. What is this red spot on my fucking face? The problems with the 4K camera. Now you see every, like, pore on my fucking face. Anyway, Claude, also you missed it. A car accident happened literally right outside the house in the street. Nothing crazy, but people sure did run into each other. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And I look outside, I was like, oop, okay. So, that happened. That was, that was something. Anyway. We can watch the boat AMV. I do not want to watch the boat AMV. I don't even remember what the fuck it was called, but I don't we don't need to watch the boat AMV. I had been talking about for a long while about, I want to make videos still very badly and appreciate, no, there's sunlight, that's true. I appreciate people reminding me and pestering me about it, and that ADHD is hard. And so things do not happen despite my wanting to so bad. So bad. So, you know, that's still on the docket. Okay. I mean, step 1, I have to write shit. That's probably one of the biggest things. The actual physical editing the shit together is not that difficult for me. That part comes a lot easier, but like still I wouldn't say no to the help per se. But unfortunately that is the part that is not necessarily the difficult aspect. But we'll see. We'll see on that one. Write the outline. You could take notes like my secretary. Like you did before. Everybody has to, like, I'm just a big stupid rock and somebody needs to push me up the hill so I can roll down it. Please, please. I promise it's not a Sisyphus situation. You can get me up there and I'll go and I'll destroy everything in my way on the way down. I'm gonna tear it up. It'll be so worth it. I think part of it too is that like it's one of those things that like once I actually establish like the process of like doing, like once I do it for the first time, it'll become a lot easier. But I'll be rooting from the bottom of the hill. Get out of the way. I'm going to crush you. Anyway. Me and comics, so I get you. It's just one of those things where it's like sometimes you start it and then it's not even like, oh, I think it's going to be so hard. It's like I'm not even fucking starting in general because everything is hard. But like it's one of those that it's just like once I have any kind of like, I have experienced it. I have an idea of what I'm doing and how long this takes or whatever. Like I've done it once and then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Easy, a lot easier. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I still want to clear out my commission list for the rest of the year and just get that away from me, which was my goal in the first place. And then I've just been not good about actually implementing it into, quote, my workflow to chip away at that shit. I had a pretty good effort at the beginning of the year and then that fell off. So maybe because the end of the year is coming, I can actually get that shit done and out of the way. That would be nice. But I need a missing link release date to motivate me to make KH things. I feel like the only time I want to make anything, it's pretty much just because of Kingdom Hearts. Very rarely does a piece of media make me want to actually make stuff. So it's pretty much just Kingdom Hearts all the time, baby. Need a missing link release date. I mean, I would just like one in general, but like at least we know it's happening in 2024. So the rest of the year we can just like, you know, we can just, okay, we got it. We'll probably hear news once people actually start a beta test, you know? Never had a piece of media make me want to make things like Kingdom Hearts has. It's taken me by surprise. Hey, me too. That was me. That happened to me. So, you know, it just embrace it and create things, I think is the best way to utilize that. Just as I am still doing and will continue to do. Because why not? Better to create than to just sit on it. Want to make KH stuff and make it hard. Hey, I get you. I feel that. Brother, I feel that. But if you feel the urge, chase it. Just follow that shit and create something. And you will feel better for it. I'm hungry. I'm kind of not hungry, actually. I'm like lying to you right now. I'm just can't wait to eat food, but like I'm not starving like I usually am by this point. What did I do? Did I do something different? Because I started streaming even earlier. Usually I kind of have a snack by then. And yes, I did take my meds, but they should have run out by now. And so I'm like, I'm that gif of Bob the Tomato where he's like, that's me. I'm feeling that right now. I want to make animations for Kingdom Hearts so bad, but I don't have any sustainable animation programs, and I'm on Mac, so barely anything works. Dude, I could help you, but not on Mac. I have nothing for you in that work. That in itself is a problem, and I'm sorry, and there's nothing I can do for you. But if that ever changes, I got you. Don't you worry about it. But anyway, there's so many things that I want to do. I've wanted to make like animatics before. I want to obviously make videos. There's just a lot of art stuff I want to make. There's merch ideas that I still really want to make. You know, there's stuff, things I want to do. New Procreate animation program coming at the end of the month. Oh yeah, Dream? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. Procreate Dream, I think. And it has an actual animation program in it. What's the hair on me? Does that even work for Mac? I don't know. It's an iPad thing, but waiting for my gummy to kick in. Not me. Oh, Krita. I've heard of that before. I have animation programs, so I'm good. But it's very glitchy when play. Whatever. That's your again animation programs. Whatever. We all want to create. We all love Kingdom Hearts. You know, we all cried when Sora was put in Smash. You know, the whole world did. And then everybody sat there like so many people sat there confused. They don't get it, but they don't understand. Okay, they don't understand. He was the most requested character on the Earth, on the whole planet. That was him. He's the world's most specialist boy, and it's their loss, you know. IBS paint. I heard a dog. Oh, woo! Outside. Woo, 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 woo. Look at how green I am. Pretty nifty. Ah, the animations that I daydream about. Big same. Or really if I can... Always. Okay, I'm glad. I mean, I don't think I'd ever been, like, kind of not green. So, that is both true, but I appreciate the support. Well, I know that dinner's probably gonna happen soon, and I've been streaming for almost 4 hours. I was going to end for dinner in the first place. So I might call it here. It feels like good enough time as any. It's like 7 p.m., you know? Even if Claude only just now showed up. Unfortunately. I've been at it for a bit. We looked at Missing Link. We talked about it, you know? And then I complained about ADHD for a while, and now everybody is obligated to continue to harass me. And throw tomatoes at me. And then we just talked about Kingdom Hearts in general, so. As we usually do, as we often do, here. Oh right, my fucking stream deck won't work. Whatever. Oh, there it went. Anyway. Yeah. I'm not sure what we're gonna do Saturday, but I might, I don't know. I might host a draw pile. Because we didn't do a draw pile last month, by the way. Remember that we did it, it was like at the on the last day of September. And then October we didn't do anything. And I had realized this right at the end of the month, but I decided instead to draw, Halloween Town Riku instead of just doing a big draw pile, because I knew I wouldn't start it otherwise, so maybe we'll just get this one out of the way early, huh? Maybe we'll just get that shit out of the way. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe I might utilize you guys to try and write something. See how that goes, you know? It's either, like, Saturday is a fun time to play games with other people, so that one's always kind of nice. Draw pile is also an easy one because, again, it's like the weekend, you know? Doing things with others, Saturday is a good time for that. So it's probably going to be one of those. Due to tests next week, I will not be able to participate. Godspeed. I wish you luck. Yeah, I guess you can always listen along. Okay, I'll figure that out then, I guess. And then, whatever, you'll see me. Okay? Okay. I'm gonna go. It's been fun eating scraps out of the garbage over Missing Link that we won't get news about until, like, the end of this month when people finally get to start playing it. And then we'll have a little something more to eat. So I guess we'll make the most that we can out of this month before then, okay? Okay. Bye-bye. See you, everybody. Goodbye. It was fun. Bye-bye. I need to make an outro really bad. I still gotta do that. Okay, bye.